All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally here. Welcome to Friday Night Drive. The team's been putting in the work between the 7-on-7s, going through the two-a-days, and having to beat the Heat for basically the last couple of weeks, all leading up to what everyone has been waiting for. It's the start of the high school football season, week 1. We have so much that we're going to get into for you tonight, and we want to thank you for joining us on your Friday night. I'm Jimmy Musial alongside the one and only Kyle Nabors. And Kyle, we are just the podcast, between the podcast and the articles, and literally everything that has been leading up to this point, we're here.
I know it. These couple weeks are so crazy as we get ready for the season at Friday Night Drive that, I went to sleep at about 2 a.m. last night and was back up about 7 a.m. Adrenaline already going for today. It's going to be a fun night. It's great to have football back.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, ever since just even being asked to come and help out with this, to be a part of it, I haven't really been able to sleep for probably a couple of weeks now. I mean, look, I also have twins and everything.
That has a lot to do with it.
It also might have a lot to do with it, but at the same time, it's really great stuff, and we're excited to we're excited to get into it and just talk about some things that are going on around the state of Illinois in regards to high school football. We will definitely be keeping up with scoring updates, and we'll have some reporters that will be calling in.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be great. And I know that this is kind of a new thing. This was done.
definitely a new.
It's definitely a new thing.
Well,
so,
at least for us.
Yeah. So we did. So I remember that this was done last year. Towards the end of the season, actually, it was week 9.
Yes.
And there was that long live stream with just like playoff implications for every single team in the state of Illinois, and it was just absolutely crazy. And I know Steve Susi, who is going to, he's out covering a game tonight, but I know he's going to be back and later on in the show. But this is something that's going to be happening weekly. So it is what can we expect from what we're trying to do here? Yeah.
So first off, I mean, it's crazy how much Friday Night Drive has grown since we started this in 2019. It was just how a group of us reporters and editors that really bought into the idea of high school football and local news. And to think that we're now sitting here in a studio and broadcasting live on the first Friday night of 2023 it's pretty incredible. A little daunting, to say the least, but we're giving it a go. So yeah, we're going to try and ease into this a little bit, but be a little patient with us. We are learning on the fly here, but we have our team of the reporters out in the field. We're going to hear from some of them at halftime after the game. I have a couple players and coaches on. We hope to add more and more players and coaches as the weeks go on. But as we've tested the tech this week, we feel pretty good, but want to make sure everything goes great. And we got a lot to get to already. We got some plays already rolling in, man. It's going to be a fun night.
It really will. And by the way, speaking of plays, we did have a little clip that we would like to show you. There's already Jacobs and Prairie Ridge are already they kicked off probably what was a little bit less than an hour ago. But as of right now, I do believe it's still it might still be Prairie Ridge 6-0 over Jacobs. And the last that we had checked on that was that Jacobs was on Prairie Ridge's 15, but they had a 4th and 6. However, Dom Creator had a 42-yard touchdown run with Prairie Ridge and that triple option offense that we'll play the clip here in a little bit, but I have to say, ever since I have been watching high school football, I graduated from Huntley in 2007, and to see Prairie Ridge's offense evolve from what it was back in 2007 to them starting to run the triple option, it just really feels like even though they lost a lot to graduation. I mean,
Yeah.
we know the historic season that Tyler Vasey had, and I was so incredibly happy that I even got to see the tweets from the reporters and the videos and everything. But it always seems to be that next man up mentality for the Wolves. And I don't really, I know they still have a lot of talent. I don't really see them slowing down a lot, even though the Fox Valley Conference is probably going to be pretty wild once again this season.
Yeah, I mean it's Prairie Ridge. They felt really good with what they had coming back on the offensive defensive lines. That's where it starts with the Wolves. And anytime they have a solid foundation there, even when you're talking about having to replace someone like Tyler Vasey, the Wolves, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they will. And if we can actually have the clip of the 42-yard touchdown run from Dom Creator, and we want to show you guys that here in a sec. So again, that was Dom Creator with a 42-yard touchdown run to give Prairie Ridge the 6-0 lead at that point. Again, we will be keeping up with a lot of these scores as much as we can. We have a lot of the reporters out in the field.
We actually have our first one to get to. We already have a game at halftime. We have Sycamore up on DeKalb 14-7. If you'd like to go ahead and bring Eddie in.
Absolutely. I would love to bring Eddie in. So Eddie, Eddie, how you doing?
And Eddie would love to. Eddie's hoping he can be heard okay. I promise headset and a better setup next week. I apologize.
No, don't even worry about it. So how's that game going over where you're at? I think we had Sycamore was up on DeKalb.
Yes, 14-7 at halftime. Sycamore had this time-consuming drive. That's why we're as quick as we are here, even with about a 5-minute late start. Sycamore had a 17-play drive, went about 86 yards, I think it was. Diego Garcia capped it off with a 1-yard run. It was his second rushing touchdown. Brought the clock to under a minute, but that didn't stop the DeKalb from scoring. Sophomore power, quarterback Cole Latimer, wide receiver Devon Grant, who was a basketball standout as a freshman last year. 2 passes. They go, I think it was 76 yards in 2 plays for the touchdown. So it's a game here, 14-7 at halftime. Sycamore gets the ball to start the second half.
Very nice.
I find, Sycamore defense playing well, it sounds like, and kind of what you expect out of them. Pretty disappointing, though, to have a 2-play, 76-yard drive there.
Yeah, DeKalb had flashes before then. They had one. They had a couple turnovers, obviously shooting themselves in the foot, including one you wouldn't have expected from Talon Tate, like one of 2 returners on offense for them. Just an open field fumble after a screen pass, just absolutely no one around them, and just dropped the ball. That was early. That actually led to the first Sycamore touchdown, I believe I'm remembering it right. And then Latimer scrambled out. I think it was before what led to that long Sycamore drive. Yeah, it was, because he went threw it down to about the 10. Had an open field in front of him to run if he wanted to go that way. Decided to throw it, intercepted, and that led to Sycamore's very long drive. Also killed the DeKalb scoring chance. They were over into Sycamore territory. So, I mean, they were hanging around. They had a couple chances and stuff, and finally put it together in the final 44 seconds.
What's the crowd like out there tonight?
It's very, very good, as it always is for this one. I don't want to be too mean to the other beat I cover, but it is very packed here. Very, very packed. The crowd will probably be somewhere between 8 and 10. It always looks more full than it does here because they don't open the student section on the other side of the field. Okay. You game is all on one half. So it looks very, very, this half's fuller than it almost ever is for an NIU game anymore, but there's also no other side available. So that's part of that. It'll probably be between 8 and 10, I'm guessing, the attendance, somewhere in there.
All right, man. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll let you get back to the game. Enjoy the second half.
This is a super homecoming halftime show, 25 plus 3 minutes. So,
Start typing up the stats, I guess, right?
Oh boy.
yeah, I got time to write half my article.
All right. Later, Eddie.
Okay.
All right, so that was Eddie Carifio, and he was over at the Sycamore DeKalb game. I mean, 17 plays. 17 plays. I mean, that is just,
it's what the Sycamore offense does.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it.
yeah.
That sounds like a signature half from the Spartans. The thing is, DeKalb, I know it's week one, but Seuss and I talk about when you talk about needing playoff wins when it's a system like this it's set up and you play in the DuPage Valley Conference. Every game is critical. So leaving points on the field, having drives in and turnovers, DeKalb's got to turn it around in the second half, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome to Live with Friday Night Drive. I'm Jimmy Musial alongside Kyle Nabors, and we're basic, we're here and we're giving you all the updates that we can for high school football. And it's been, it's already, I feel like there's just so many packed matchups for week one. Like just to get like right out of the gate, because I was listening to the podcast and everything, and I'm just, especially with like, okay, sure, like DeKalb and Sycamore, even though that was that was pretty typical as we were talking about. Still, there's so many different, implications that are already starting to happen because of how tough some of these week one matchups are. Well, actually the first couple of weeks are for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I mean the week one slate has become much more loaded because of teams needing to the power conference teams needing to find other power conference team to play against because of the way things have been set up. There's actually, this isn't a power conference, but I do want to get to a good matchup because we got Alex Kantecki here joining us, who's at Prairie Ridge and Jacobs at halftime here. It is a 6-0 game. I'm a bit surprised to see it that low scoring. Neil, you want to go ahead and bring Alex in for us?
Hey guys.
Hey Alex, how you doing?
Good. This game's moving really fast. I like it.
Yeah. So 6-0 right now in favor of Prairie Ridge. Although that's as Kyle was alluding to before we brought you on here, that's a little bit surprising considering how considering Prairie Ridge's offense, and then the amount of players that Jacobs has coming back, especially in the running game. But at the same time, I do know that Prairie Ridge usually has a pretty good defense.
Yeah. So this game last year was won by Jacobs, 42-35. So there were 11 touchdowns scored. I was expecting another, high scoring game, and here we are, 6-0. Prairie Ridge scored on their first possession. Dom Creator had a 42-yard touchdown run to the outside. The next possession for Jacobs, they were driving down the field. They had 18 plays, started at their own 19. They got to the 6 and they fumbled it away. Xander Severson recovered the fumble for PR.
Okay.
And that's where we stand.
Okay, gotcha. So I do understand it's 6-0, but like has Jacobs been able to? I know that they were pretty close to scoring, but have they been able to move the ball other than that drive?
So each team has only had the ball twice, two possessions for each team.
Oh, there
like
we go.
I said, it's moving quick.
Yeah.
The other possession for Jacobs, the first possession they punted it, ended at midfield.
That's so. I want my first impression there is to say, oh wow, that's really solid job of the Prairie Ridge defense. But one, it's only 2 drives, and one of them was. It's good to come up with the stop and get the turnover there, obviously. But I don't want to draw too quick a conclusion. But at the same time, the Prairie Ridge defense really struggled most of last year. They were trying to put things together. We heard how much better that they expected to be this year. That's a good start. See if they can sustain it in the second half, obviously, Alex. How about the Jacobs offense? Like, what kind of impression have you gotten from Jacobs in the first half?
They've only so PR, no surprise, hasn't thrown the ball once. Jacobs has thrown 3 or 4 times, twice to their big tight end Grant Stack, who's going to Wisconsin.
That's bad place to target. Yeah.
Yeah. So and they started the game with senior Connor Goring at quarterback, and then right before the half they made a switch to sophomore Daniel Curran. So I'm wondering if they're gonna kind of roll with him and throw a little more in the second half.
All right. Well, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that develops. Alex, we'll check in with you after the game. Sound good?
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Later, Alex.
See ya.
All right, so that was Alex Kantecki. He is covering the Prairie Ridge Jacobs game. And actually, that clip that we had of Dom Creator's 42-yard touchdown run, that was from Alex Kantecki. He was able to get a really good angle actually for that run play. So 6-0 Prairie Ridge at halftime. I have to this. I remember reading this in one of the articles on Friday Night Drive that Prairie Ridge did have a quarterback that actually has a pretty decent throwing arm, and I know that they were going to maybe try to incorporate that. Well, listen, I say the word maybe, okay, because that's not. I mean, look, we don't. I understand it's Prairie Ridge and it's their triple option offense, but at the same time,
Yeah. I just don't. It's not really in the Wolves' DNA to throw the ball in the triple option offense. I mean, when you say incorporate it, I guess a big passing game for the Wolves might be 4, 5, 6 attempts. So maybe that's what
Very true.
That's what the Wolves are going to. They're going to run their triple option. They've done it for how many years under Coach Chris Tramp? It's been very effective, obviously. But yeah, we got Josh Welge here out at Waubonsie Oswego East here. He's got a 0-0 game already at halftime. Let's go ahead and bring Josh in.
Hey guys, like Kyle said, I'm here at Waubonsie where we're at halftime. The score is 0-0. Waubonsie had a 35-yard field goal attempt on the last play of the half that came up short. For Oswego East, kind of a young team. They're breaking in a sophomore quarterback, Nika Valachi, making his first varsity start. A sophomore running back, Josiah Watson's also playing quite a bit for them. So obviously working some things out. On the Waubonsie side, they're coming off of an 0-9 season, so wanting to get back on track. Their big recruit, Julian Johnson, kid going to Minnesota, 6'5" tight end. He's got 1 catch today for 25 yards, but yeah, obviously defense is running the show so far.
So, I mean, we've had a few games so far. Everything I've seen, it's been a lot of low-scoring games so far across Twitter, at least, that I come across. Just kind of, you feel a little bit like the defense is ahead of the offense so far?
Well, I think penalties are a big contributing factor. I mean, there's been 12 penalties in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Welcome to week 1 of high school football, right?
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to week 1 of high school football. There's a lot of dead ball, motion type penalties. There's been some holds like on screen passes, and it's just the way it is with week 1. And so I think that's been a big factor, not to take anything away from the defenses.
All right. Well, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that but I mean, hey, you got a 0-0 game right now, and like you were saying, the defenses are pretty stout. Well, Josh, really appreciate you joining us, and hope you have a good rest of the second half. And
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you after the game. Yep.
And that was Josh Welge. He's at that game with Oswego East, and yeah, I mean, look, he was talking about the penalties and everything, and all these, the coaches are probably going crazy with that, because obviously they've been working a ton in the off, in the summer, and like getting everybody together and whatnot. So hopefully,
it's fun because listen, it's high school football,
exactly, right.
But they spend a lot of time on it because they know it's high school football and kids are going to make mistakes. And coaches can't help themselves. They're going to have the same reaction in week 1 that they're going to have in week 9.
Exactly.
And it's always entertaining to be on the sideline and to kind of see that building process that goes along with coaches and players, particularly young players. That's one of my favorite things about high school football as a reporter, is actually being down there and getting to listen to coaches talk to players. And yeah, it can get a little spicy at times. But there's also there's a lot of great teaching that takes place down there.
It really does. I mean, I've been able to, I haven't been as close to, as like being on the sidelines and everything. But when we were doing the broadcasts, back in, oh gosh, what was that? Was that 2019 or so?
Yeah, with 2018 and
2018
yeah.
and 2019. So to actually be in the, in the booth, where even the defensive coordinators that we could hear, through the very thin walls that were the booths, a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of teaching going on, and basically just trying to continue moving forward throughout the game and just keep everything in check. It definitely, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Batavia now up 28-6 on Phillips, only 7-12 into the second quarter. I'm sorry, there's 7-12 until halftime in that game. Bo DeBrown 9-yard touchdown on fourth down put Batavia up 28-6. We got the clip going in there, and Neil will have that up for us here pretty quickly here. But yeah, Batavia not having any trouble with Phillip.
Well, Batavia is basically picking up, they want to pick up where they left off, because they had such an incredible season last year, and
they have really, I mean, it's Batavia. They always have high expectations, but this team in particular, state title aspirations with what they have coming back. It's a hungry team. They're playing really well to start the year. Obviously, here up 28-6.
Absolutely, and if we can, I think if Neil, we can get that clip rolling. Thank you. Very nice. As you were saying, Batavia up, what was it, 28-6?
28-6 there. Another halftime score. Joliet Catholic went over to Iowa City, playing Iowa City High School. Joliet Catholic up 27-13 in that one. It's a nice. That's a nice lead for Joliet Catholic on the road.
Well, and considering that they're also going out of state. I think that there were, if I'm not mistaken, and I was actually asking Steve Susi about this. I said, is this a year where this is the most amount of schools that have gone out of state for non-conference games? I don't know if there's actually data that's going to show this.
Okay,
but
well, I'm curious. What did he say?
I think he did. I think he's also said that there wasn't super concrete data on like if it is the most, but it's definitely more than what has than in recent years. So I think actually what I saw was at least 15. What was it? 15 schools or so that were going out of state for games. I might be that number might have left me a little bit, but I know that there's quite
15.
A few.
Yes. I don't. Yeah, I mean, you get some teams that want to find those out of state tests just to get a look at something different. Sometimes, right. I mean, it's an experience for kids. Sometimes there's a lot of reasons teams are doing it. Some of them just have to. It's to the point where essentially. I mean, there are some instances where teams are having to do it middle of the season now, which is kind of odd because of quirks and conference schedules.
Right.
That's happening a little bit. So that's maybe caused an increase there. But I don't know if it drastically increased. Maybe a bit, but I wouldn't say drastic, I don't feel like.
Gotcha. Either way, so and we're actually checking out a couple of the comments here that are coming up in the chat. So from actually, I want to make sure I pronounce this right. Kevin Ilko, if we have do we have a McHenry score?
I don't have it immediately offhand here.
Yeah, Kevin, we can get that
for that.
Yeah, we can get that.
I can tell you looking through. That's what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah,
so I got to balance trying to look at a camera while trying to be able to look for scores here. So
no worries.
Bear with me here. York off to up to 14-10 at half over Glenbrook South. Morrison is rolling over Mendota 47-0. Quincy over Quincy Notre Dame 7-0 in the first quarter. Cary Grove up 16-0 over Burlington Central. Let's see. Are you scrolling through? Ooh, Derek Paris with a put in here. Tyson Binion, another interception. Henry Bucher, 14-yard touchdown run. Rochester up 26-0 over Peoria. 7:42 in the first half there. That's, Seuss and I were talking about that. Steve Seuss and I were talking about that on the podcast about the amount of points we expected in that game. I mean, Peoria, I think most people know, but if not, Peoria's offense is prolific, to say the least. They put up a ton of points. To see them getting blanked by this Rochester team that's impressive.
It is.
I mean that's impressive for the Rochester defense is what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Well, especially with a team like Peoria, who has the capability of putting up a ton of points, and it can happen quickly. That's the other thing too. So, but at the same time, and you said that game was at half.
No, that game is 7:42.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the latest, let's see if I come back over here. Kevin was asking for a McHenry score earlier. The latest I can find, Kevin, is Hampshire is up 27-0. That was 2 minutes until halftime. That's been about 30 minutes, so that game should be in the second half. I'm looking at the McHenry Athletics Twitter account. So yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find that as well. But also, and also, by the way, I just saw a stat here. Speaking of Cary Grove and Burlington Central, so neither team has a turnover. However, Cary Grove has 193 yards of offense in the first half, and Burlington Central is at 96. So obviously, Cary Grove definitely wanting to. Maybe I don't want to. You know what? Here's the thing with Cary Grove. I really don't want to say that it's redemption, because last season was such a hard thing for them to go through, especially having injuries to key players.
They were very young. They lost pretty much everything from that 2021 team, and then they dealt with injuries throughout last year. It was very odd to not see Cary Grove in the playoffs, but I'm pretty certain that was going to be a short-lived thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Cary Grove has to prove after that they can be back to the elite level of the FVC, and I'm talking, going back toe-to-toe with Huntley, Prairie Ridge, Jacobs, the tri-champions from last year. Cary Grove, from program tradition, I suspect can do that, but considering coming off of 3-6, they do have to prove it, taking care of business against Burlington Central here in the opener.
And so also we have another comment in the chat that is asking, what's your guys' take on the Ottawa Marquette versus Aurora Christian? Are you surprised? So I will say I haven't seen much on this game yet. We'll try to see a.
Well, that's what I was going to ask Vinny. Vinny, if you are still with us watching, I haven't seen that anywhere myself yet. If you can give me an idea of what's happening in that game, drop that in there. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's also see here.
Rochester now up 33-0. This game I found really interesting. Fulton Forest in an NUIC matchup there. Two really good small school programs coming off, of course, another good year here. Fulton is up 18-8 late in the first half there.
Well, look, this is. I'm really wondering, with the exception of the what we just heard from Rochester and Peoria. Everybody's trying to get out everybody's trying to get the kinks out. They're all and everybody's just trying to get back and trying to get into the flow of whether it's their offense or their schemes, their plays, and everything, because this is week one, right? So you get to see it live in action. Now it's like a true test. And I'm almost wondering if we're just going to continue to see low scoring games, even though there are a couple of them already that we've seen have been pretty high, Hampshire over McHenry and then Rochester over Peoria. By the way, just saw a tweet from Alex Kantecki. Prairie Ridge is still up 6-0. There's 8 minutes, 21 seconds left in the third quarter, and the Eagles have the ball near midfield. So still a really tight game, even though the third quarter technically kind of just started. But again, defense seems to be the common denominator in that one.
Yeah, defense. You were talking about one thing. I do wonder. It's usually sloppy week one. We know that. It's also been really hot the last few days. I do wonder if that's going to contribute to some sluggishness tonight. So far, a lot of the scores I'm seeing coming across have been on the lower side.
They really have. But you know what? And I think that we talked about it earlier in the show, right? It was the name of the game the past week or so was beat the heat. I mean, be safe. Like, it's just, a lot of schools had to either move their practices indoors if they could, or they had to work around the schedule and probably play meteorologists at some point and see what time was going to be the hottest and how we're going to work around that.
I mean, I saw multiple schools trying to delay practice to 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and the humidity was so high, it just didn't matter. I'm sure it affected their practice schedule this week and the routine. And that's big for high school football. It's big. I mean, it's big for any level of football. And when you talk about you're going into week one and your routine it's already been messed with, it's not a great way to have to start your year. But, everyone's on it. It's not like it's just one team. Everyone's dealing with that. So.
Everybody has to go through it. And obviously, you just hope that everyone is remaining hydrated and is taking care of themselves, and especially the athletes and everything. By the way, Vinny responded with a comment here. Aurora Christian is up on Ottawa Marquette 28-0, and that is at the half.
Ooh.
So Vinny, by the way, yes, surprised a little bit. A little.
Knowing the history with Aurora Christian, not surprised to see them up by 4 scores and shutting out Ottawa Marquette. Yes, that's pretty surprising. I did not expect to see that.
So and we want to thank you, Vinny, for getting that score for us. That definitely helps us out. I mean, we're looking through Twitter, and we've got a lot of reporters that we are following to try and get game updates and everything. So thank you very much for helping us out with that. That's very we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we got a couple more here. Jimmy, halftime, Lincoln Way West up 31-0 over Plainfield Central. That's Steve Millar down there covering that game for us. Michael Dwojak is covering St. Ignatius, which is up 14-6 with a 68-yard drive to take a 14-6 lead over St. Patrick. Let's see what else we got here. We got halftime with Lockport up 6-0 on Plainfield North. Another low-scoring game there. Not surprising to see that one to be a low-scoring one, though.
So, let's see. We also have a couple of other things coming in here. I'm trying to take a look. And by the way, again, thank you so much for joining us on live with Friday Night Drive. Jimmy Musial with Kyle Nabors, and we are just, we're here, we're off and running, and week one of the high school football season is officially underway. We've had a lot of games that have been at halftime.
Maybe we got a sponsor we want to make sure to.
Yep. We absolutely do. So I do want to say, come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dining, carry out, and catering available. Locations in Rock Falls, Sterling, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try the original Chicken George today.
I also want to make sure to give a shout out to our title sponsor here, SGKR, who's been with us now for, I apologize, I want to say at least 3 years now. We very much appreciate them. They've been great to work with, and it's great to have them aboard again this year.
Thank you very much to SGKR Law. Thank you.
Oh, I got a good one here. Seneca is up 21-14 on Wilmington. That is one of my favorite games. So this is a old rivalry game that hasn't been played in a long time. And frankly, the last time it was played, Seneca was not the program that it has quickly become. Really, really played well last year. Coming back with a lot this year. Wilmington also with a lot back this year. It is 21-14. That is shaping up to be a great game.
Well, and I think that was one of the teams that Seuss was really talking about, how he really likes Seneca again this year, especially after their success last season.
Yeah, that is one of his favorite teams to watch in general, and definitely on the short list of teams that we could see in Bloomington.
So we also we have another. Let's see here. I actually just saw something else come across the feed. So there was a big stop actually by the Prairie Ridge Wolves defense. Jacobs had a 4th and 1, and it looks like the Wolves were able to get a stop on there. We actually have a pretty good clip from Alex Kantecki, so we'll work with Neil on getting that over to you here in just a little bit. And yeah, so still 6-0 Prairie Ridge in that one. At the time of Alex's tweet, it was 6:18 left in the third quarter. So all signs are pointing to a very low scoring game, and we'll see if it'll just come down to which defense can make a bigger play, and see if Jacobs can maybe try to get themselves on the board.
It's looking to be. I mean, I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing from the Prairie Ridge defense from where we last saw them at the end of last year. This is a really nice start for the Wolves. Joe Stevenson is covering Richmond Burden and Marion Central, a non-conference game, an interesting matchup between those two teams there. Richmond Burden, a very quality 4A program with Mike Knoll at the helm there. Marion Central, this is a really interesting case. Marion Central, because they had been playing for several years in that East Suburban Catholic League, East Suburban Catholic Conference, and the CCL, they had been struggling to find their way into the playoffs. They're now in a much better league that suits their enrollment size. They're down to Class 2A this year. This is a team that if they get in the playoffs, it's going to be fun to watch. They have Clemson commit Christian Bendiker out there at wide receiver and on the defensive line. I mean, he's a fun player to watch, but this is a really interesting matchup against Richmond Burden. And Joe Stevenson, Neil, do you got that one queued up yet for us? Here, we got a Richmond Burden known for its ground game, but was going through the air here. I think Neil liked that one so much that he decided to watch it twice. I mean, it's really Richmond Burden passes the ball not very much, so it's worth watching that twice.
Absolutely, I would say so. I'm actually glad that Neil played it twice because this is definitely something that you are not used to seeing from the Rockets. I mean, they just but here's the other thing though. This is a Richmond Burden team that is just year in and year out. And obviously, yeah, Mike Knoll has been phenomenal as a coach for the past 5 years at that program.
Yeah,
I think
four losses. I tried to tag him with 5, a fifth one on the podcast the other day. Yeah, 4 losses in 5 seasons for Mike Knoll with Richmond Burden. They've been incredible, particularly in the regular season. And they just year in and year out, the way that they run their offense, very consistent. Anytime they start being able to get over the top on defenses, it's going to be a long night for the opponent.
Well, and I think really I understand that, like, this is high school football at the end of the day. Like you definitely want, it's good to have talented kids. It's always great to have that. But at the same time, when you have a coach like Mike Knoll who can just mold these guys and mold these kids into not only great football players, but I think I also remember him when he was being interviewed in an article. It was probably earlier, it might have been earlier this summer or something, but he also has a big focus on helping them become better people at the same time. And that's just such a great combination to have when you have for any coach at any level. I don't really think it matters, but for Richmond Burton to have the success that they have had, it's truly been something to watch.
Well, you got, particularly nowadays with kids, you can't be the drill sergeant all the time. You need buy-in, right? And it takes patience, and it takes a certain personality to do it. Mike Noel has shown for a very long time the ability to do that. It's no surprise. I mean, just from the outset, and Mike would say himself, he walked into a very good program already at Richmond Burton when he took it over, but it's gone to a new level since he arrived.
And by the way, speaking of Richmond Burton, I know we just got through seeing that clip that Joe put out for us, and thank you, Neil, for putting that on the show. I just got a comment from Michael. I'm so sorry, Michael, if I butcher this. I'm really not trying to, but Michael Belomi, Richmond Burton 13, Marion 15. Richmond driving 39 seconds before the half. So if that I don't know if I had seen that, but if that's the case right now, then that is pretty that's pretty spectacular.
I expected that game to be pretty close. So
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen that touchdown there, but I appreciate the update. Another here, Sterling Newman going into its second season here. I'm sorry, I lost my spot here that I was looking for. Sorry, guys. Sterling Newman is on the road here, up 6-0 on Rockridge. Rockridge, a quarterfinalist a season ago. Nice start there for Newman. At the end of the first quarter, they got a start here at 8 o'clock. They were pushed back because of the heat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was. I know that there was a lot of games. There were a lot of games that got pushed back because of, well, yes, obviously for that reason alone. So that should be, yeah. I mean, and I think there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk about that too. How I remember listening to this on the podcast, that when you have these later games, now you're talking about the kids being out a little bit later than probably the administration would like, and all that other stuff, because obviously, again, we got it's high school kids, so the weather has really
they're not really, I mean, even downstate, you were talking about, I mean, Seuss and I had mentioned on the podcast that a lot of games south of Peoria had already been pushed to tomorrow. And it's going to be interesting to see. I haven't heard if teams were struggling to find officials for that, but that was a lot of games on short notice to move to Saturday. So, but yeah, the heat definitely playing a factor in week one here.
Well, and of course, you were talking about the officials as well. I know that the official shortage didn't exactly help with some of the scheduling and whatnot. But so I got another comment here from Michael, who was telling us about Richmond Burton and Marion Central. So he did now just say Richmond Burton 21, Marion Central 15, touchdown 28 seconds before halftime. Running back touchdown pass, 2-point conversion, good. So
I appreciate the scoring updates here. That's a good game. That's right where I thought it would be here going into halftime. Joe Stevenson's got a good one for the first one of the year. There was, let's see, one of my favorite matchups of the night, Palatine at St. Charles North. We had a 64-yard touchdown pass to Dominic Ball here, and they are now up 19-10. Palatine with the lead with 6:04 left in the second quarter with Gridirons. Make sure to give credit to Gridirons there on Twitter or X or whatever we're going to call it nowadays. I got to figure that out. I guess we got to call it X, right?
I guess we do. Listen, to me, people are still tweeting. So, I mean, that's just how.
I didn't notice until the other day that it says post now, or like
it literally just says, it literally just says post. It doesn't even say tweet anymore. But at the same time, look, Palatine was one of those teams that I know you guys were talking about. I think Seuss mentioned it. He really likes Palatine because they seem like they're geared and ready to go for a nice little run this season.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talent on that Palatine roster. They had a significant amount coming back, and they are battle tested. They put together a schedule last year they've put together a non-conference schedule to pair with a pretty good conference schedule that they got battle tested last year. Expected to be a team that can compete for a state title this year.
And by the way, I know we were speaking to Josh Welge earlier about Wabanzi Valley and Oswego East. So he actually had a 0-0 game at the time that when we talked to him at halftime. But now Wabanzi Valley has taken a 14-0 lead after a 3-yard touchdown run by Christian Simmons. I actually just got through sending that over to Neil.
Before we do that, let's hold off on that because we got some guys joining us now, and I want to make sure we get to them while they're at halftime.
Sounds great.
So we're first going to bring in, we're going to go ahead and bring in Michael Dwojak first, who's covering the St. Ignatius St. Patrick.
What's up, buddy? You need anything?
Hey guys, how are you?
Oh, we're doing good.
Doing all right, man. So give us an update. What's going on out there?
Well, we're tied at halftime, 14-14. St. Patrick just tied up the ball game here with a minute left before the end of the half. They had a 23-yard pass from Ryan Bird. They had a 2-point conversion, so we're tied at 14. St. Ignatius got off to an early 7-0 lead after their quarterback took it for 52 yards. Then St. Patrick's defense kind of made it a close game with stopping Ignatius on the 4th down on its next drive. St. Patrick's was able to get a field goal off of that, and then Ignatius fumbled it for 2 straight possessions, able to get a field goal there, but close game, and then Ignatius was able to take a 14-6 lead on Emmett Rhodes' touchdown run. So we got a little back and forth action here, 14-14 at the half.
Well, very nice. So, for this game, has there been anything that's really stood out as far as maybe like on the offensive side of the ball? I know you said St. Patrick, with their defense was definitely making it a little bit more of a game. But how have the offenses been looking so far?
Well, with Ignatius being a triple option team, it's always hard to keep up with who has the ball. The officials actually a couple times got tripped up, and we actually had a blown play because they didn't know who had the ball or anything like that. So that was kind of interesting. But Ignatius's offense looks good. When you turn the ball over, that's obviously going to be a problem. I'm sure Matt Miller is not happy with that right now. So, they're probably going to work through that. For St. Patrick, they just have come close with a couple opportunities. They had a dropped pass in the end zone, which led to a no touchdown there, and they had to settle for the field goal. So, obviously, both offenses are kind of showing, first half of the first game of the season, maybe some jitters and that kind of stuff. But both offenses are kind of showing off that St. Patrick is going to throw the ball and Ignatius is just going to run the ball. Ignatius only has 1 pass attempt this first half.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Michael. We'll let you get back out there for the second half. You got a good one. Have a good one, man.
All right. See ya.
All right, we got 2 more guys already in the studio here waiting to jump on. We're going to go out to Steve Millar, who's covering Lincoln Way West and Plainfield Central. That game is at halftime. Steve, give us an update from there.
Hey, guys. Yeah, it's all Lincoln Way West here, 31-0 at halftime. The big story is Cole Crafton, the Lincoln Way West quarterback, Southwest Suburban grad, Offensive Player of the Year last year, is not playing tonight. He's also a major baseball prospect. Had some big baseball events earlier in August and didn't get enough practices in to be eligible tonight. So he's got a 1-week absence, but junior Chase Hetflight just filled in and played well. He threw a 49-yard touchdown pass to Austin Roswell, their their track star who's starting to get some recruiting notice in football. And Hetfleisch has also had some nice runs at quarterback. And Joey Campagna has 2 touchdown runs for Lincoln Way West. Defense has also been dominant. Not much happened for Plainfield Central. I think they have 2 first downs. 31-0 at halftime, Warriors.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like they're playing well down there. What would be? Give us a couple more. I guess. Are you surprised by when you saw that? Okay, you're down a starting quarterback,
Right.
31-0. Are you surprised to see that after that?
Yeah, no, for sure. And West was a little shaky early on. They went backwards on the first drive. I think they lost 11, 12 yards on the first 3 plays, 3 and out. They went 3 and out again on the second drive. It was scoreless until late in the first quarter, and then they took over. Plainfield Central had a couple miscues on special teams. A botched punt that gave West short field position. They took advantage of that. And, Hetfleisch is settled in at quarterback and is playing well. They've been able to kind of do a lot of the same things they do at Crafton because Crafton's an athlete. He runs the ball well, and Hetfleisch has been able to do that too. So, I'm sure West is very happy with how things have gone, considering the circumstances, to be up 31-0 at halftime.
All right. Well, thank you, Steve, for joining us. Have a good second half.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We got, let's see, who next? We got Scott Schmidt, who is out covering Downers Grove North and St. Francis for us, and now joining us now. Scott, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Sorry, I'm kind of hiding in the trying to get to a quiet place. I'm in the woods almost, but great game so far. Downers North is up 21-14 over St. Francis area at halftime. Just looking at some stats. Obviously, St. Francis was, I think, a semifinalist in 4A. This is the first time these 2 teams have met. Obviously, Downers North is, I think, a 7A or 8A, so obviously a little bigger school. But Francis is moved into the Chicago Catholic League, obviously, so they're going to be facing great competition all year. Downers North scored right at the end, a 2-yard pass from quarterback Owen Lansu, who is a sophomore. I think Josh Welge had talked about that. He doesn't have any offers yet, only being a sophomore, but I guess he's people are interested already. He looks really good, so I'm guessing he'll be a name people hear about for a while. And then just quickly, sorry, I'm rambling. It's almost halftime, it's almost over. But the St. Francis quarterback, he's going to Ball State. He's been really good for a while. I apologize if I butcher his name here, but Alessio Milivojevic.
It's all right. I've been butchering that poor kid's name for a long time now. No one will blame you.
Okay, I was trying to listen how they pronounce. As I said, I've seen him now 3 or 4 times. He's really, really good. Much better than how I pronounce his name. But as I said, he's got two touchdown passes already. One of which is to Dario, his brother. But yeah, he's 8 of 11, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. As I said, going to Ball State. So this is a really good game, obviously, between 2 teams playing in tough conferences. So that's the thing. I mean, obviously being in the West Suburban for Downers North and now being Francis in the Chicago Catholic League, this is an important game, I'm guessing, for both. There's no easy path to 5 wins in those conferences.
Absolutely not, man. Well, you said it's getting close there to the end of halftime, so we'll let you go. And thank you for joining us. All right.
Oh, no problem. I'll try to check in with you afterwards.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, so sounds like a really good game there between Downers North and St. Francis. Yes, I would not have been able to pronounce that name either. So kudos to both of you for even attempting, because I do think I remember seeing his name in a few articles, especially conference previews, and so totally sorry. I'm not even going to try. But hey, a great quarterback play, and a close game out there. So we got two more.
Yeah,
all right, let's go. Let's keep them rolling. Yeah.
All right, Seuss, we're going to go ahead and bring in Steve Sushi, who's down covering Nazareth and Kankakee. Seuss, how's it going, man?
It's been kind of a crazy one here. We've had a situation where I thought for a minute that we were going to have an offensive festival here. Kankakee scored a pair of touchdowns on their first 2 offensive series, a pair of really long touchdown runs. So with just under 10 minutes to play, Kankakee had jumped out to a 13-0 lead. And then the game went back to what it was last year when we had that 2-0 game between the two of them. Neither team could do much of anything for a while. And Nazareth has really, really struggled offensively. I can't recall the last time I've seen Nazareth have this much trouble moving the football. Logan Malachuk at halftime, 5 for 16 for 19 yards and an interception. So obviously Nazareth not doing what was probably expected of them offensively. And defensively, they have just had trouble with Kankakee's speed. If Kankakee can get to the corner, they will have a lot of trouble. Nazareth did score with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter, but that was only primarily because of Kankakee miscues. They had a downed punt inside their own 20, and then Nazareth couldn't move the ball and attempted a field goal where they got a roughing the kicker penalty that gave them another first down. And then finally they were able to punch it in from the 10-yard line on a Lesroy Tittle touchdown that closed them within 13-6. But Kankakee answered right back and got another running touchdown just before the half, and that's the score stands 20-6 at the halftime break. So the stats are kind of misleading. I mean, it has Kankakee with over 200 yards rushing at the half, but all but about 100 and about 40 of those yards came on the 2 touchdown runs. One was a 72-yard score, the other was a 67-yard score. So they haven't done much offensively either after that surge right at the beginning of the game. So kind of a bit of a surprise here in a lot of ways at Kankakee High School.
I definitely didn't think it was out of the realm of possibility. We got the band coming in here, Zeus. We're learning on the fly, so
absolutely.
You know what? I'm going to do this for you, Zeus. I'm actually going to mute your mic here on your end, so I think you can still hear me, hopefully. Give me a head there.
He can. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So, I definitely was within the realm of possibility for Kankakee to win this game. I don't want to discredit them in any way. Definitely surprising to see the Naz offense struggling. I want to ask you, because we've been talking about a lot, just looking through Twitter and following along, and I know you do all night long as you're covering a game, a lot of low-scoring games so far. And I'm just kind of wondering, obviously you get the usual week 1 sloppiness, but also with the way you had the heat this week that really disrupted practice schedules and stuff, it just seems like you're seeing some more sluggish offenses, even more than usual in week 1.
Fair. It's just one of those situations where you're just seeing a lot of, plays that are just not quite linking up. And I especially think that's been the case for the game that I'm watching with Nazareth. But to be fair, Kankakee's secondary is playing very, very well. They are not giving up any passing lanes right now to Nazareth. Nazareth is trying to stretch the field, and there's just really nothing for Logan Malachuk to throw to. So it's been, it's been a really, really nice effort from the Kankakee defense, but I can totally see what you're saying. I'm seeing the same thing that you are. A lot of low scoring games. There's a couple that have put up a lot of points that I've seen so far tonight, but that may be just, out of the realm tonight. But I think I would agree with that.
All right, Zeus, we'll let you get back out there.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Zeus.
All right, well, let's go ahead and head out to Batavia, where Jake Bartleson is covering Batavia and Phillips for us. It's now at halftime there. Jake, how's it going, man?
Good, guys. How are you? You sound great.
You sound great. How's it going out there?
Pretty good. It's pretty warm, obviously, for everybody. 28-6 Batavia here at the half. Batavia able to score on their opening drive. Ryan Bowe, 3-year starter, 1-year touchdown to start it off. Phillips, with the big surprise, though, in their opening drive, a 56-yard rushing touchdown from Amin Robinson to tie it up. Big defensive breakdown. But from there, it's been all Batavia since. They've really settled down. I think the one big takeaway is we knew they were going to be able to run the football, but Ryan Bowe has got something with Yorkville transfer Isaiah Brown. He's got 4 catches. I'm still totaling stats here, and he's got a touchdown later in the half. So he's really just been effective. He can do a lot of things and stretch the field.
So Jake, do you see this? Do you see this being something that that Batavia can continue to utilize effectively and continuously throughout the season, besides their run game?
No doubt. I think this is going to be a connection to watch each and every week. Isaiah's in his first year here since transferring over. Batavia's pretty, I would say, diverse. I mean, they like to run the football. They got 2 or 3 guys that can do it. Nathan Whitwell, Zach Ramberg, and others as the band is coming towards me here. But Isaiah really is a game changer here. Can stretch the field. But don't overlook Pat McNamara. He's had a couple of nice catches here to move chains and extend drives. So there's a lot of different ways in they can attack things. But their bread and butter is going to be run the football, and then we can, break up in the passing game from there.
All right, Jake. Well, thanks for joining us, man. Enjoy the second half.
You guys too. Stay cool.
You as well, man.
Definitely going to do our best. For those of you who are actually just tuning in, we want to thank you again for joining us here on Live with Friday Night Drive. We've been going at this for probably just about an hour now, and we want to thank.
Hour into the first episode.
Yeah, huh? we want to thank everybody who is who's taking the time to tune in. We want to thank you for your comments. We've already had a few that have been coming in through the chat. And by the way, so I going back to this Prairie Ridge Jacobs game.
Okay.
Alex has had a few posts that have come out. So here's where I'm going back and forth with this. So it's still 6-0.
All right.
Okay. But Jacobs decided to go for it. And this was on a fourth down, and they were on Jacobs was on its own 25.
Okay.
Prairie Ridge got the stop. They took over. And then Jacobs got a stop of their own after Jacobs gets the ball back after a stop of its own on 4th down. So PR decided to go for it on 4th down. And now here's the thing. It's still 6-0. But that was just, I feel like, just a crazy series of events here where we just now are seeing the defenses, the defenses are keeping the offenses honest, obviously. But it's continued to remain a low scoring game at 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, both defenses getting stops on each end of the field here. I'm trying to find other scores here at halftime. It looks like Brother Rice and Maine South are tied at 7 here. Do want to say, Neil, we do here as we get to the top of the hour, do need to take a commercial break here. If we want to go ahead and, let's go ahead and take that now, if that's okay, Neil.
Need a rough vinyl windows or doors? Call R.E. Duchesne Construction. With an A+ rating for the Better Business Bureau and servicing Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties, call R.E. Duchesne. 815-722-2821. Financing available. Find out more online at reduchene.com.
I like Reich.
I like Reich.
Since 2016, it's been my privilege to represent the people of the 63rd District. I want to continue representing you as an independent voice in Springfield.
I like Reich. We like Reich.
Come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dine in, carry out, and catering available. Located in Rock Falls and Sterling, Illinois, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try our original Chicken George today.
Need a rough vinyl windows or doors? Call R.E. Duchesne Construction. With an A+ rating for the Better Business Bureau and servicing Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties, call R.E. Duchesne. 815-722-2821. Financing available. Find out more online at reduchene.com.
I like Reich.
I like Reich.
Since 2016, it's been my privilege to represent the people of the 63rd District. I want to continue representing you as an independent voice in Springfield.
I like Reich. We like Reich.
Come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dine in, carry out, and catering available. Located in Rock Falls and Sterling, Illinois, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try our original Chicken George today.
Need a rough vinyl window?
All right, and we are back live with Friday Night Drive. I'm Jimmy Musial with Kyle Nabors. Again, we're just bringing you a lot of scoring updates from around the state of Illinois. However, Kyle, it looks like we do have an update for Crystal Lake Central and Huntley.
Yeah, I've got a few scores here, including that game. Crystal Lake Central and Huntley are tied at 14 with 6:46 left in the third. We had a Jason Penza touchdown to George. Demopoulos, thank you. On 4th and goal, capped a 14-play, 80-yard drive. That was from Marty Machezik, who's covering that game for Friday Night Drive. Cary Grove is up 23-0 on Burlington Central. Rochelle up 24-0 on Woodstock at halftime. Manuka up 27-7 on Rock Island. Now, Jimmy, I'll turn it back over to you. We got a couple of clips to look at.
Yeah, we sure did. So there was one from Josh Welge. Oh my goodness. Of course there's so many different schools that I know he was covering.
Josh Welge was at Wabanzi Oswego East.
Thank you very much. Wabanzi Valley and Oswego East. Christian Simmons had a touchdown which made it 14-0. And we'll bring that clip up here. So again, Wabanzi Valley with a 14-0 lead over Oswego East at the time of that. At the time that clip was put out onto Twitter or X, and we want to thank again Joshua.
Josh just tweeting here an update. Still 14-0 into the third quarter. That one moving away. Really are moving along really quickly here. So just past 9 o'clock there. We got a final already. Actually, Maine West a 14-13 winner over Marmion. Canelan up 20-12 over Washington. That was kind of an interesting game. Washington, a pretty good program there, of course. Canelan as well. Carlson with a 17-yard touchdown run to give Canelan the lead there with 5:52 left in the third quarter.
Okay. And let's see here. We're still checking out some other games. It looks like Richmond Burton and Marion Central. The last time we looked at that one, it was 21-15 with Joe Stevenson is out there covering it. And actually, what's really funny about that game is again we're talking about how Richmond Burton just loves to run the football, right? But I'm pretty sure they've had 2 touchdown passes in this game.
The one that we showed earlier, I think set up a touchdown, but it was right down there at the goal line.
It was right there at the goal line.
Okay,
Okay. Well, also just from just some great stats here from Joe. Kale McThenia, 11 of 18 passing for 214 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm wondering if maybe Christian Bettenker was one of those on one of those catches.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Would not surprise me at all. I mean, I think he's pretty much a tower. So just basically
just go up and get it.
Yeah, just go up and get it. But actually, and JT Grow, the quarterback for Richmond Burton, 5 of 7 for 121 yards. Marion Central with 224 yards of total offense with Richmond Burton at 216. So basically, as you were saying, it's as we expected. It's a pretty good game, and it seems to be pretty even so far. And by the way, I missed Joe's stat here about Christian Bettenker. He has 7 catches for 177 yards, and it looks like 2 touchdowns. So, damn. Well, there you go. I mean,
yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good start to the season for Christian Bettenker there. We got another final coming in. Lena Winslow, a 68-0 over West Carroll. No surprise there. Crystal Lake South is up 34-8 over Dundee Crown at halftime here. Looking through, see if I can find some other scores for you.
No problem at all. And so actually, I'm going to go back to some of the comments here. So it looks like we have something from Jamoff. Can you do Highland, Illinois?
Highland, Illinois. I can see if I can find you something.
We could try. Yeah, we could try to find it for you. we're doing the best that we can to find as many scores for you as possible, especially with some of the with some of the games that are going on right now.
Our Brian Hoxie covering Ottawa and Plano. Ottawa 14, Plano 12 at halftime.
Okay. There we go. We've got that one, and then let's see here. What else? We did get another update from Alex Kantecki. Still 6-0 Prairie. Still 6-0 Prairie Ridge with 1:28 left. So that one
1:28 left in that game.
I want to say he said 1:28 left. So I'm not sure if it's the third quarter or if it would be the or coming down to the wire for the end of the game. But that's the one that I just read from Alex. So let's see here. What else? It looks like we do have something. We do have something from Daily Herald Preps. They did tweet out that final score: Glenbard East and Larkin. Glenbard East with the win at 42-0.
42-0 there.
Yep.
Let's see. Dan Wusso covering Bureau Valley and Erie Provincetown for us. Into the third quarter there. Bureau Valley up 14-7. We got a halftime score. Rockridge 7, Sterling Newman 6. That game moving along really fast there. 8 o'clock start, so only 9:10 there moving along. We got Stockton up over Dupec 16-14 into the third quarter. Fulton up over Forston 18-14 with 7:06 left in the third quarter. That's NUIC football on X there with the update from a few of those games up there in the northwest corner of the state.
And as we continue to look at to try and find scores for you and everything, we'll try to keep you as updated as possible. And while we're just continuing to look for scores and everything, these interviews that we're doing as well, they're brought to you by the our wonderful sponsor, SGKR Law. So thank you so much, SGKR. Really do appreciate you. Getting all these guys who are at these games and everything coming in and giving us their updates. We appreciate them as well, because as you were saying, we're learning on the fly here, and as Jake Bartleson was saying, the band's coming right at me, so we're trying to get to decent spots for us so we can get some good audio for you guys.
So we got Palatine up 27-17 over St. Charles North at half. Dominic Ball 14 carries, 108 yards, touchdown or 66-yard touchdown run, 2 receptions, 67 yards, and a 64-yard touchdown, catching that from Matt Now with the update for us on that game.
So Marengo Athletics, actually, we do now. Who did Marengo have tonight? I can't remember exactly, but what I do know is that
it was Evergreen Park.
Evergreen Park, yes, actually that was it. So Evergreen Park and Marengo are tied at 14 right now. Looks to be so. It's a nice picture of the scoreboard from the Marengo Athletics account. 6:42 left in the fourth quarter of that game, actually. So 14-14.
So we got a final 2 here from Alex. You are right. It was the fourth quarter of that game. Prairie Ridge holds on, wins that game 6-0. Trying to get Alex on with us here. That is an incredibly fast game. I know there's only 6 points, man. That was
right. But when did that start again? What was that? I feel like it literally just started. But okay, so Prairie Ridge ended up getting their first win of the season over Jacobs 6-0. Again, we were talking about how it's the defense. I mean, Prairie Ridge is always really good on that front. Obviously with last year, it was a 42-35 win for Jacobs. It was a very much back and forth game, but obviously a different story for week 1 of this season. So that's pretty crazy. I know there was a lot of back and forth on that too, like stopping on fourth downs, a lot of big plays. So pretty exciting.
It's a great first sign, or great first effort from that Prairie Ridge defense. Now the next question is going to be, they did graduate Tyler Vasey, wanted to see how the offense would look post him. 6 points is a little concerning for the opener, but like we said, we've seen a lot of low scores tonight. So, a lot will change between week 1 and week 2. That it always does.
Yep. absolutely. And so let's see here. I'm trying to look for another update. Joshua Welge just put out a Oswego East is inside the 15, 14-0 with 10:29 left against Wabanzi Valley. Sophomore running back Josiah Watson showing a lot of burst apparently. So that's definitely something that Joshua is looking out for. And let's see.
We got Rochester. Rochester is up 40-0 on Peoria. They got a running clock early in the third quarter there, 10:42. Derek Paris tweeting that one out. I did not see this one coming. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, it's kind of like one of those things where it's week one. And I think we have an expectation of, based on the history, especially between certain teams and stuff, right?
Well, I mean, it's week one, but that doesn't. I mean, it's week one, and I can talk about sluggish offenses. Peoria had 0 points for an offense that averaged 50 points a game last year, somewhere in that range. To see them getting blanked at home by Rochester, and obviously Rochester is one of the best programs in the state. Don't get me wrong. How many times has Rochester played for a state title over the last decade?
Yeah.
Plus now, but they're more known for the offense than the defense. I expected to see them give up some points in this game.
Yeah.
I expected Rochester to win the game. I just did not expect to see Peoria getting shut out.
Right.
That's quite surprising. So, looking forward to seeing the story and finding out what happened down there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, going back to the chat here, there was somebody who asked about Highland, Illinois. Michael Belomi, who actually came in and found the score. Highland 27, Breeze Central 7. Not sure what third quarter, fourth quarter, not exactly sure about that, but thank you, Michael, for finding that and for helping others out in the chat. Do we happen to have a I can look that up, but somebody asked about Lockport, and we can try to look that up for you here.
I think I can get that one. Let's see.
I actually just got it. Well, I just got it right here.
I'll tell you what. There's gonna be a little rambling here. Is the X search function not properly working anymore? Like,
we're doing our best. We're basically doing our best over here.
Journalists everywhere here can relate to this one. When you're trying to use obviously X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, when I'm typing Twitter names that I've known for years and they're no longer showing up in search properly, it kind of drives you insane.
Well, so actually there is I was able to find something on Lockport.
Okay. What do you got?
So I've got the post came from a person named Randy G. Whalen.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he end of the third quarter. Now this was about 11 minutes ago, so we'll try to get another update if we can. But
what we got?
Lockport at the time was up 6-0 on Plainfield North.
Okay. That's about what I expect out of that. That was expected to be a low scoring game. Lockport defense has not given up much over the last few years. Yeah, right where you expect to be. I got an update from Eddie here, who's out covering Sycamore in DeKalb, 28-7. Sycamore winning that one.
And it looks like we also had. So Tim just posted something from Cary Grove and Burlington Central. No score. No scoring updates from that one. I mean, it was a nice play from Jackson Alcorn to convert on a 4th and 11 for Burlington Central. There's 4:48 left in that game, and still Cary Grove still up 23-0. So thank you, Tim, for putting all that stuff out. We really do appreciate you.
It's nice. It's Matt Surdich, the defensive coordinator down at Clifton Central High School. I'm taking it the Comets must not start their season until tomorrow, because he's out at the Seneca Wilmington game. So it's nice to see him with the updates helping me out here. Seneca now up in that game 27-21. Shout out to Matt for the updates there. If you're interested in that, you can I'll retweet Matt through the Friday Night Drive Twitter account. He's been tweeting all night there at CometBacker 2011 there.
So going back to the chat here, we do have actually somebody else helping us out with the final score. It looks like Shyhawk 18. Thank you very much, Shyhawk 18, for this final score. Morgan Park 42, Richards 0. So that one is a final. And then I also just got a few scoring updates from Josh, who's covering Waubonsie Valley and Oswego East. So Josiah Watson had a 5-yard touchdown run for Oswego East, which brought them to within a touchdown of Waubonsie Valley. But then about a minute later, Tyler Threat, 72-yard touchdown run on the first play of the ensuing drive. Waubonsie Valley now leads 21-7, 9:43 left in the game.
All right. Let's see. Here's a game. Stillman Valley coming off a really nice year. Dixon is up in this game. Let's see. Dixon goes 83 yards in 9 plays. Tyler Shaner runs it in from 15 yards. Dukes leads Stillman 28-14. 4:58 left in the fourth quarter there. Ty Reynolds out covering that game for us.
Okay. Well, there you go. And we actually just did, okay. Thank you very much. There was actually something you already talked about it. It was Matt Sertich. He was helping out with the Seneca Wilmington score. And I just lost it, but I had another update for you, but now of course
what are you looking for?
Well, I'm not exact. Well, I was trying to look at it, but then I couldn't exactly make out the school name. So I'll try to find it and get it back for you guys. But yeah, so a lot of low scoring games tonight, but at the same time, a lot of still really, really good games. And I'm wondering, that's right. Somebody else came in the chat about something. It was Henrik Nystrom. Thank you very much for that, for even participating in the chat and trying to give us a final score. We did get that score from Alex Kantecki. Still do appreciate you very much. Again, Prairie Ridge getting their first win of the 2023 season with a 6-0 victory over Jacobs.
Yeah, I want to jump in quickly. Yeah, if you are watching on YouTube or on our Facebook page, and you want to participate in the show, we do appreciate actually throw scores in there if you have interesting stats, anything to shed light. Hey, anything that helps us, we'd like you to participate. Friday Night Drive is all about building a football community, so that'd be great. Helps us out along the way. So I'm going to keep going back here. It's kind of a lot of scores coming in. So
yeah.
You could give me just a second here. I'm trying to see. Kalen now has a 2-touchdown lead over Washington. Johnson had a 16-yard touchdown catch from Carlson. Chris Walker with the update for us there.
Okay, and let's see. We also have actually have something from the St. Rita football account. Came in and says pick 6 touchdown Mustangs. Linebacker Justin Buckner picks it off and takes it back to the house. 35-14. St. Rita is currently winning their game. So let's see here. I actually do have a scoring update from Crystal Lake Central and Huntley. 43 seconds left and this was like literally seconds ago. 43 seconds left in the third quarter. Central is up 21-14 over Huntley.
So that game got off to a slow start. Crystal Lake Central getting Jason Penza back at quarterback this year. He only played 6 quarters, I want to say, not even 6 full quarters last year. He was injured in the opening half of week 1 last year. Came back, I want to say it was week 8, but did not start at quarterback. Started at quarterback against Prairie Ridge in week 9 and put up 49 points in that game. High expectation for that team with him back at quarterback. They had a lot coming back as well. I don't want to just put it on Jason Penza, though. That's a good defense they're playing here in week 1. Joe Stevenson was on the podcast this week and said that Crystal Lake Central could win the Fox Valley Conference. And in fact, the Tigers were his pick to win the Fox Valley Conference. A win against Huntley is going to go a long way to giving that credence.
It really would. And at the same time, they've got a lot. They have a lot of guys that were returning and guys such as George Demopoulos, who
NIU commit,
and
he actually filled in last year.
He played quarterback last year, and now he is back to his regular position as a wide receiver. And and so I'm sure he's happy to have his quarterback back. And obviously they're doing really well against Huntley right now. So again, Crystal Lake Central up on the Huntley Red Raiders, 21-14. And it's coming near the end of the third quarter.
I want to throw this comment up quickly here. I'm going to do this from Michael, who says Richmond 27. So Richmond Burden 27-15 over Marion Central in the third quarter. 6:34 left. Long touchdown drive by Richmond. Marion Central tight end, our star tight end, he's referring to Christian Benninger, the Clemson commit, cramping on defense and like 5 others. That's one thing that is a concern for Marion Central. We were talking about them being down in 2A this year because of the school's fall in enrollment. They have a lot of kids that are going to have to play both ways, and they don't have a very big roster. And it's early in the season; it's been hot, and against a team like Richmond Burden, that could be a decisive or a deciding factor in the game. Not to take anything away from Richmond Burden, but that definitely would have an impact.
Well, absolutely. And of course, with the heat and everything, and it's very much, to tell you the truth, with how it's been 90 plus degrees for the better part of the week, and we got into the hundreds. I mean, for 2 days in a row, I think I walked outside and I felt like I was met with a fireball. So it's just, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, hopefully Bettencourt is okay, because obviously he is a key part of what they want to do this season, and what they want to, how they want to be successful. We do have a score update actually from somebody in the chat. Jamoff, he says Edwardsville and Jackson 7-7 at halftime.
All right.
So there's that one. And again, thank you guys. Really do want to say this. Thank you so much for helping us out with that, because obviously we're 2 people here and we're trying to look all throughout this social media platform to see where the scores are and how things are going. But it definitely helps that you guys are helping us out as well. So very much appreciated. And thank you.
We got Neil loading up a clip for you now. We got St. Ignatius now up 27-14 on St. Patrick. Passing touchdown from St. Ignatius, another triple option offense going to the air here in week 1. So let's see Neil as he gets that lined up. Give us a thumbs up when you're ready on that, Neil, as I'll flip through and see what other score updates I can find for you here. We got a final here. Aurora Christian defeats Ottawa Marquette 42-0. Okay. That is, there's a lot of turnover at small schools when you talk about that. I said I was surprised to see Aurora Christian leading in the fashion that they were. Certainly surprised to see a 42-0 final there. Neil, you say you got that one ready to go. All right, we got the clip of St. Ignatius taking a 27-14 lead here. If I go back here, just really quickly, Neil, give me a second here. Pull this back up so I can let you guys know what we're looking at here. We're looking at Jack Wazong finds Clement Carey for a 29-yard touchdown, wide open here. And that's what happens when you don't pass a lot and you get defenses creeping up. May have been a bit of a blown coverage there. I can't see where the safety is from that angle, but that's a pretty easy touchdown. That'll be 6 points.
Look, when you're talking about triple options, especially run at the high school level, it's very, very just. I don't want to say that it's bound to happen, because obviously the coaches go through as much as they possibly can to stop these triple option offenses. But at the same time, after seeing a play like that, I also wasn't very surprised. Not because it was the specific school or whatever. It was
I can still see the play up on my screen here. And what's funny is you can see, which is what happens against triple option. It forces defenses to slow down and make decisions. And you have so many linebackers and defensive linemen kind of shuffling their feet, everyone kind of moving up. And all of a sudden you see that guy come across the middle, that receiver come across the middle and sneak behind the defense. And that's 6 points for you.
And something else to consider too is when I was even, I was younger and we were even talking about the Cary Grove option and how we were going to try to stop it. I would remember the defense, the defensive coaches, they would always say, This guy is your assignment.
Yeah.
You just got to lock in. And even if he doesn't have the ball, just tackle him. It doesn't matter, because but then obviously things like that can still happen, because that's how difficult it is when these triple option offenses are run the right way, such as Prairie Ridge, Cary Grove, St. Ignatius. It's just incredibly effective, and it's hard to stop.
It's very tough, and particularly, I don't envy any team that has to, Luke Mertens and that staff over at St. Patrick, having to prepare for the triple option is in week one. It's just not a fun task.
It's not. And we do have another scoring update actually from Joe Stevenson at Richmond Burton and Marion Central. We've got Richmond Burton's Braxton Nellison, who ends up scoring on what looks to be maybe a 3 or 4 yard touchdown run. Richmond Burton is now up 37-15. At the time of Joe's post, it was 6:38 remaining in the third quarter.
So there's okay. I'm confused there.
Yeah,
because I'm seeing a Marion Central 5 seconds ago saying that the Hurricanes scored a touchdown to make it 27-22.
Okay.
I'm not saying
I may have read. I'm looking at Joe's tweet here. Maybe look, I don't believe there's an edit button, so he might have wanted to. Maybe he ended up typing in accidentally the not the right score. But yeah, either way, it's if that is the case, though, still a very close game between Richmond Burton and Marion Central. The latest score looks to be Braxton Nellison.
We got Nazareth trying to keep it close here with Kankakee here. Logan Malachuk with the 3-yard keeper to get the Roadrunners back within 20-13 with 6:18 left in the third. Plenty of time left in that game. Nazareth off a down 20-6 in the first half there. Needs to get it going. Appears to at least have a chance here.
Yeah, and we talk about that. These are such important matchups, even if they are just week one, especially for certain teams, because of how insane their schedule is for the rest of the season. And I believe Nazareth is actually one of those teams where it's jam packed, and it's going to be difficult right out of the gate. So.
Absolutely. All season long, Naz is going to, when you're in the Catholic League, it's going to be tough to begin with. They went out and challenged themselves in week one again this year against Kankakee. And, it's going to be an uphill battle if they can't pull this one out. But yeah, Logan Malachuk and the offense getting them back within 7 points.
And by the way, it looks like we do have another update, a confirmation, actually, if you would, from that Marion Central Richmond Burton game from Michael Belomi, 27-22, third quarter, 5:07 remaining, star tight end, third touchdown of the game. So Christian Bettencourt is off to an incredible start, the Clemson commit. And he even says in here in this comment, what an athlete.
I think this is a really good time to go ahead and plug the Friday Night Drive Team of the Week. We do this all the way, I believe, through the second round, maybe the quarterfinals. Excuse me if I'm getting the round wrong there, where you get to vote on the team of the week, and the top vote getter out of the entire team of the week gets a pretty sweet championship belt that we take out to practice there. And I gotta say, Christian Bettencourt is making a pretty good case for Team of the Week MVP with 3 touchdowns here in week one against Richmond Burton.
And I got to tell you, I love seeing that for the kids, especially. They all, every article, every time that even came out, the results came in, every single person who got to hold that championship belt. Man,
I got one at home.
Listen,
if anyone that watches maybe the Friday, or I guess anyone that ever tunes into the Charlotte Locals Bears Insider podcast that Sean Hammond and I get to do a couple times a week during the season and once here in the off season, has probably seen the Friday Night Drive belt from the very first year we did it sitting behind me. So
yeah, it's a pretty sweet belt. I know that I would want it, and I don't even know of anybody who doesn't at least try to get a championship belt in their in their lifetime. But
how many yards did you see from Joe? What was it at halftime for Christian Bettencourt?
7 catches for 177 yards.
Okay. All right. Give me a second if you could do and see if you can find some updates on scores and let the listeners know what you're looking at. Because I want to check a record here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did actually get we do have an update from the Batavia football account where Jake Bartleson is covering that game between Batavia and Phillips. Looks like touchdown by Valente. Score is now 35-6 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. So Batavia definitely, definitely picking up where they left off. Starting to try and make another run, and they definitely seem like they're well equipped to do so so far, especially against a Phillips team. We do have a final. We do have a final here from Josh Welge. Geneva beats Matea Valley 35-0. So looks like Geneva got their first win of the season there.
Yeah, Geneva taking care of business, a game that they were expected to win. High expectation for this Geneva team coming into the season, taking care of business there. So what I was looking it up, Christian Beneker, 177 receiving yards at halftime. I'm not quite sure where he's up to now, but he had another touchdown there. I was just looking to see what the receiving yard total in a game was. I knew it was going to be ridiculous. You get them in high school, but just to crack the top 20, by the way, 288 or 289 yards. That gets you the 20th place in the IHSA record books. Number one, by the way, Justin Wright, 390 yards in a game back in 2017, and he got those 390 yards according to the stats on IHSA website on 12 receptions.
I feel like that's just crazy. I mean, 390 yards. I mean, that's
I'd call that pretty good, is what I'd call that.
I mean, yeah. I think you're going to be okay. We do have a couple more scoring updates for you here. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to Live with Friday Night Drive. I'm Jimmy Musial with Kyle Nabors. We've been going at this now, and I'm really happy to kick things off for week 1 of the high school football season. From the Marengo Athletics Twitter account, we've got Marengo down with a minute 48 left in the minute 48 left, and that was about 6 minutes ago. So that one may or may not be final. But Evergreen Park was up 20-14 against Marengo at that point. So unless Marengo was able to,
we got a final there. Evergreen Park winner 20-14 in that one. We got another final here. Yorkville 30-6 win over Plainfield South. I'm pretty sure we got a final from Seneca and Wilmington here. I think Seneca was a winner. I'm trying to find the final though. Let's see. We got a final here. Sycamore 42, DeKalb 7. Game's really starting to wrap up here. Let's see here. 32-0 Rochelle taking down Woodstock currently.
Okay. Yep. I know Rochelle has typically been a pretty good team in seasons past.
We got Dixon with a 28-14 win over Stillman Valley. That's a quality win for the Dukes on the road. A big Northern Conference win for the Dukes there, 28-14 over Stillman Valley.
And another update from Josh Welge from the Waubonsie Valley and Oswego East matchup. Looks like Tyler Threat with a 25-yard touchdown run, and now Waubonsie is up 28-7. It was about 5 minutes ago from Josh, and it was 5:54 left in the game at that point.
All right, we got an update to Washington. Getting close here on Kaneland with a 1-yard keeper from Humphrey, according to Chris Walker. McQuarrie on the 2-point conversion. 27-20 Washington gets close to Kaneland there on the final play of the third quarter.
So an interesting update from Tim Frolig. I'm so sorry, Tim, if I butchered that.
No, you got it. Tim Frolig.
Okay, good. I was like, I've seen the guy's work and everything, and it's pretty fantastic. So Jackson Alcorn connects with Michael Person on a 6-yard touchdown pass. 1:23 left in the game. He says the Rockets are refusing to go away. They've scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute 39. So,
all right.
So now Cary Grove is still leading 23-12. However, Burlington Central definitely making it interesting in the final minutes here.
Burlington Central, they are the smallest school in the Fox Valley Conference. They joined it coming over from the Kishwaukee River Conference a few years ago. It is a growing district, but it has a long way to go to catch up with some of the larger schools in the Fox Valley Conference. But even so, it's actually done fairly well considering the size discrepancy since joining the conference. They do not ever give up. I give the Rockets credit for that.
No, absolutely not, and that's very evident with what they're doing against Cary Grove right now. And as Tim was saying, scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 39 seconds, 23-12 Cary Grove.
We got a final of Lake Zurich 28-7 over Fremd.
Okay, there you go. We've got, let's see here, Richmond Burton and Marion Central still 27-22, 5:07 left in the third quarter at the time of Joe's post. That was about 8 minutes ago, according to my feed here. So still a tight game there. And now we officially have a final from Cary Grove and Burlington Central. 23-12 is the final score. So again, Burlington Central definitely not giving up, definitely trying to make things interesting at the end there, especially with the amount of time that they had scored in. But nonetheless, Cary Grove ends up getting its first win of the season.
All right, well, now we have, as these games are starting to go final, Alex Kentucky's coming back to join us here. He had the game between Prairie Ridge and Jacobs. Prairie Ridge holding on to win that game 6-0. Alex, I didn't expect a high-scoring game from last year. Definitely didn't expect 6-0. That was halftime score as well. How'd that second half play out?
Not much offense, obviously. Sorry about the lighting in my car if it looks a little weird.
That's okay. You sound great.
Yeah,
you're good.
Alex trying to make sure he hits a print deadline as well. So we appreciate you, Alex, spending a couple minutes with us.
Yeah, no problem. Jacobs just couldn't get anything going in that second half. They had the ball 4 times. 3 times they turned it over on downs, and another time they fumbled it away. And it was too bad because their defense for their part was held Prairie Ridge to, I just did the stats here. Prairie Ridge only had 110 yards at halftime, and they only had 28 yards in the second half on offense. Wow. I don't know the last time a PR offense had that few of yards in a half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at that's incredible to hold the PR offense to that yardage output, and it's unfortunate for the Golden Eagles to come out on the losing side of that battle. After holding Prairie Ridge to 28 yards in the second half.
Yeah, and Jacobs, had a chance there at the end. They were putting a little drive together. They got to midfield with about, a minute 30, a minute 40 left. And then they had a bad holding penalty, set them back. And then the next play, Luke Vanderweel came off the rush on the end and got a clear shot at the quarterback for about a 10-yard loss. And they had to kind of throw up 2 desperation throws at the end, and none of them came close. And PR was able to just kneel the last 2 plays to end it.
Well, I got to tell you though too. There was a point where I was watching my feed here, and I felt like you had a couple of posts that just, it was like Prairie Ridge, Jacobs goes for it on 4th down on their own 25. Prairie Ridge goes for it on 4th down. Jacobs ends up getting the stop. There's a fumble like 2 plays later. I couldn't keep up with it at first, and I just said, and it's still, the end result still ended up being 6-0. So just when you talk about week 1, that's just a crazy game right there. So
yeah, and Jacobs went for it like 4th and 5 on their own 25 because they needed to get something going, and this was about halfway through the 4th quarter, I believe. They didn't get it. But then PR gets the ball back, on Jacobs 25, and they can't do anything, and they turned the ball over on down. So it was just back and forth like that all game.
How was Prairie Ridge coach Chris Schemp after the game? Because I had to imagine thrilled to get that kind of performance out of his defense, to make those type of stands, obviously to put up a shutout. It was a defense that struggled a lot throughout the year last season. More half glass, half full type of night for Coach Schemp?
Yeah, he was actually telling me, he's like, you should probably be talking to the defensive coordinator instead of me after this one. But yeah, he was really pumped up about the defense. He told me that was probably the fastest he's seen his defense collectively, get to the ball, get to the runner in many years. He says that was one of the best defensive performances he's seen since he's been at the school.
All right, Alex, we'll let you get back to working on that story, man. We appreciate you jumping back on with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, later, Alex.
Okay, so that was Alex Kantecki, and he was covering Jacobs against Prairie Ridge. Prairie Ridge ending up getting the 6-0 win. And I actually do have another. I've got another score final here. Joliet Catholic ends up getting their first win of the season against Iowa City, 48-13.
It's a long trip to make for Joliet Catholic. A big win for them on the road.
Absolutely, and it's one of those, it's another one of those non-conference matchups where the schools went out of state, and I know that there are a couple of others that are doing that as well.
We got a through 3 quarters, Brother Rice and Maine South. Brother Rice up 10-7 in that game. I feel like it's written in the football bylaws somewhere that Maine South has to play, like Maine South week 1 on. Particularly when it's a Friday night game like this, they just don't seem to give up points the first game of the year. It just seems to be that way lately.
Well, that's a nice, but it's a nice way to start. It's a nice way to start. Like they just don't, just if you can, if your offense isn't doing that great, but hey, your defense just doesn't give up points. I think you can definitely still look at that as a positive.
One of the better games of the night so far out there in the NUIC is Forreston and Fulton. Was a game that I know I was interested in. Forreston is up 22-18 over Fulton. 5:50 left in that game.
And we actually do have an update. We got an update here from Steve Susi. This was a couple of minutes ago. Logan Malachuk scores from 12 yards out, but the extra point is no good.
Oh, no.
It hits the upright. So Kankakee is still up on Nazareth, 20-19 with 2:06 left in the third quarter for that one.
Oh,
but,
okay. There's plenty of time left in that game.
Still plenty of time, but it looks like Nazareth is kind of starting to find their way and try and get their first victory of the season.
Yeah, another interesting FVC game taking place. Huntley is down 21-14. Just got the ball back with 6 minutes left against Crystal Lake Central. Another one coming down to the wire.
And we have another scoring update from Batavia and Phillips. It looks like 41-6 to start the fourth quarter after a touchdown by, I believe, is that Ryan Whitwell? Believe his last name is definitely Whitwell, but 41-6 nonetheless, and Batavia is still rolling. We do have a final here, and so we've actually got 2 more updates. We've got Steve Susi. First of all, I just had that update from Kankakee and Nazareth. Looks like Tony Phillips. Basically, all he said was Tony Phillips fast. 40-yard.
That's yeah. That Seuss is not wrong. Tony Phillips is very fast. Yes, it looks like a 40-yard touchdown run, according to Mike Clark. Well, here's a fun thing about that, though. The K's now missed an extra point, so it's 26-19, 1:20 left in the third quarter there. So after Naz was missed the extra point, or had the extra point, hit the crossbar?
It did. It hit the upright.
Or yes. Hit the upright, yeah. And now failed to tie it. Now Kankakee unable to connect on an extra point to keep it a 7-point game there.
And we do have a final score from Josh Welge with Wabansie Valley and Oswego East. It looks like Wabansie Valley ended up taking a 28-7 victory. Tyler Threat, 183 yards and 3 touchdowns. So thank you very much, Josh, for the updates on that.
Nice start to the season there, obviously, for Tyler Threat, 183 yards. Nice performance.
Yes. And let's see here. We've also got looks like Richmond Burton has now taken a 35-22 lead over Marion Central. That is it looks like the fourth quarter just started not too long ago, 11:51 left there. So still a little bit of game left for Marion Central to continue to try and build and see if they can get a win out of it. But Richmond Burton definitely not making things easy.
No, it's kind of been the theme all night when we've gone back to that game. Richmond Burton it's a big, powerful team. I just think that the size difference in enrollment size there, when you're talking about Richmond Burton, a very, very good program. Marion Central given it a really good effort, honestly, but Richmond Burton just wearing them down.
Yeah, and I think it's a team of Richmond Burton's caliber who has had just so much success in the season and in the playoffs and everything. Marion Central has had their fair share of success as well, but obviously lately, especially with their low numbers and whatnot, they're I mean, hey, look. Hats off right now still. I mean, there's still a lot of game left. Christian Bettencourt is obviously having himself quite a game.
Well, let's say that does help with their how much time was left in that game?
11:51 according to what Joe had posted.
I mean, that's plenty of time for Christian Bettencourt to score at least twice more.
Yep.
St. Ignatius now pulling away in that game. Michael Dwojak with the latest update there, 37-14. I had some questions about the St. Ignatius offense with Vinny Rugai, graduated off that very, very, very talented running back, two-way player for St. Ignatius. But they got the offense going here in week 1 against St. Patrick, up 37-14 with 6:02 left in that game.
And again, thank you so much for tuning in to Live with Friday Night Drive. I'm Jimmy Musial alongside Kyle Nabors. Wanted to take this time to also let you know, come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan sauce. Dine-in, carry-out, and catering are available, and they have locations in Rock Falls, Sterling, as well as Clinton, Iowa. So come try the original Chicken George today.
I might have to go get one of those after the show. I'm starting to get rather hungry particularly sitting under these lights right here.
I know, and it's unfortunate, and it's so unfortunate because I already ate before I came here. But it's like you start talking about football, and it just
okay. If you're gonna be involved in covering high school football on a Friday night, just go ahead. Whatever diet you're on, just
don't even worry about it.
Throw it out the window now. Just let it go. It's not happening anymore, man. Because at some point it's gonna be like 1 a.m. and you're going to be heading home, and McDonald's is going to be the last thing
right
open.
There. It's going to be right there. It's going to be dangerous.
It happens.
It's going to be dangerous.
That's happened more than one occasion, unfortunately.
Well, hey, but you know what though? That's what happens. You covering a sport that is absolutely wonderful, especially this time of the year. It's always a great time of year. High school football, man. I mean, there's nothing, you guys do so much preparation for this and everything that leads up to it. We're just, and obviously this is incredible what we're doing right here. And we're so happy to bring this to you guys. And I want to take this time to also thank the people who have been participating in the chat. It definitely helps us out, especially with the people who are letting us know about scores. So thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate you. And want to thank all the reporters as well who have been out there covering the games and having to meet the print deadlines, as well as giving us some time, on the interviews and everything.
One game I hadn't seen really coming across my feed as I've been trying to scan for stuff was Warren and Barrington, right?
Yeah.
It's midway through the third quarter. There's 46 combined points in this game. It's Warren is up. I'm sorry, Barrington is up 26-20. I just didn't expect to see that many points in the entire game, let alone with 5:50 still left in the third quarter. The Warren defense does not usually give up 26 points in 2 weeks, let alone in one.
Yeah, that's I have to say too, I truly just believe that, like, especially, and I know I may sound like a broken record here, but the first week is so much about ironing things out and seeing where your team is at, right? And obviously with all the preparation that you've done up to that point, but especially with a team like Warren, like you said, they're not used to giving up that many points. However, to Barrington's credit, Barrington has always been a tough squad. They always have been, no matter year in and year out. Whenever I'm looking at the articles you guys are posting or anything else that I'm looking at, it's just it's a credit to Barrington, but also, as you said, not used to seeing that from Warren.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Sanchez in the Barrington football program is obviously a quality program. It's just, I guarantee you, Coach Brian McNulty, is not happy having his defense giving up 26 points. I guess I shouldn't say it's all on the defense. I haven't seen the play-by-play. But it's just uncharacteristic to see the Blue Devils giving up 26 points coming into the season. I really thought, Lake Zurich is the defending North Suburban Conference champion. I thought Warren was probably going to take that crown back this year. I'm gotta say, I know it's week one. I'm having a little second thoughts though, seeing them, struggling against Barrington. Again, Barrington quality program. I expected the Broncos to be pretty good this year too, with a lot coming back. That being said, you combine that with the fact that Lake Zurich handled Fremd rather easily tonight. Thinking I may have to rethink that a little bit here and give a little more credit to the Bears.
Yeah, well, and you know what? It's hey, I mean it happens, and we'll see. We'll obviously see how things pan out for the rest of the season. I want to go back to the chat here. Actually, looks like looks like there's a final from McHenry. Somebody by the name of Jason Schumann has
Hampshire was a 34 winner over there. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, yes. Hampshire 34 winner.
Yep. So thank you. Yeah. So Hampshire already matching. This is going to sound really bad, and I'm so sorry, but they're matching their win total after last season. I believe they were 1-8 last season, and Hampshire just got their first win. So that's that's a great start.
Well, Hampshire with starting the Shane Hack, I believe Hack. I'm sorry, Hack. Shane Hack era with a win, looking good. The son of a Hall of Fame coach, and Tim Hack.
Tim Hack, yes, absolutely. And I believe Tim is actually helping out as a coach.
Yes, he is.
So that's great. I mean, you have great experience, and that's a lot of knowledge there. So
that was I wasn't sure what to make of that game this week, because you had the coaching change in Hampshire. You also have a coaching change in McHenry with Jeff Trader coming in. Jeff had a solid run over at Woodstock North for a decade plus, taking over now in McHenry. Wasn't sure exactly what the Warriors would look like here. So obviously a good win for Hampshire here in week one.
Yes. And we have another scoring update from the chat from Michael Belomi. By the way, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right, Michael. Please forgive me if I haven't, but it looks like Manuka took a 42-7 win over Rock Island. So good job by the Indians to get their first win of the season there.
Yeah, Indians rolling in that one. Rochester also rolling. We talked earlier that Rochester, somewhat surprisingly, I guess I would say, had a running clock on Peoria early in the third quarter. That game ends up being 40-14. Lake Zurich handles Lakes 37-7.
And by the way, Kyle, I just saw this come across my feed. This is always really nice how these are just, I feel like, they just keep coming in, and it's just, a lot of things that are wrapping up. But this game between Streeter and East Peoria from JT Badalti, looks like Streeter is up 52-21.
Okay.
3:13 left in the third quarter.
Streeter's East Peoria is a program that has struggled in recent years. Streeter's had the better of them, so not too surprising.
Not too surprising there. But Christian Benning actually with three rushing touchdowns tonight as well.
All right.
So he's definitely had himself a night. Again, Streeter up 52-21 over East Peoria right now. 3:13 left in the third quarter. So that one is
a final for St. Rita over Sandburg as well. St. Rita with a 42-21 win there.
Well, that's good for the new coach that just took over too, to get his first win with St. Rita.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm sorry that I can't remember. There were a lot of coaching changes over the summer, especially with state championship teams, and then other really top tier programs. So great job for St. Rita to get that taken care of. We do have another final score in the chat here from Michael. Lockport 14, Plainfield North 8. So Lockport defensively definitely took care of business.
Porter's getting a non-conference win to start the year. Their defense taking care of business, as you said. Yeah,
there we go. And okay, so have another. We got another one from Nazareth and Kankakee. So tied at 26. Logan Malachik with a 40-yard touchdown run. 11:51 to go in the fourth quarter. That was from Seuss about 5 minutes ago. Missed extra points, for both teams, and now we're tied at 26.
Yeah,
there we go.
and here a low scoring. Well, Nazareth went down 20-6 in that game at halftime. There was really struggling offensively to put things together. Logan Malachek in the offense obviously getting things figured out to come back against Kankakee. This game was 2-0 in the opener last year.
I remember that.
Yeah,
that was great.
We didn't expect a repeat of that. Definitely getting a good one now. Sousa probably having a good time down there in Kankakee.
Definitely. And Brian Hoxie with an update for us from Ottawa Plano. It looks like end of the third quarter, Ottawa is up 20-18. So we've got a pretty close game there. And then we also have from the Huntley Red Raider football account, we have 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Crystal Lake Central 21, Huntley 20.
Crystal Lake Central 21, Huntley 20.
Yes.
Well, let's see. Give me a second here. I want to look this up. I want to know if there was an extra point missed, if Huntley went for 2. I want to know what was going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go ahead and try to find that out for you. But as of right now, 21-20, Crystal Lake Central is up by 1 on Huntley in a Fox Valley Conference matchup. We got another update from Michael here. Michael, thank you so much. You've been very active in the chat tonight. Richmond Burton is now up 41-22. Fourth quarter, 7:19 left, and it looks like a rushing touchdown for the Rockets. No surprise.
Michael, I want to know: are you watching this game? Are you streaming it, or are you watching the game? Or are you doing this from the stands?
Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, I need to know now because I very much appreciate the updates.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, he actually asked earlier on in the chat. I think somebody had asked if we had a score stream or something like that to try and look these up. But I mean, that was from somebody else named Vinny. But obviously doing the best we can to find scores, and Michael's been helping us out. So thanks a lot, Michael. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, and as you look up more information about the Huntley game and stuff,
we got a final here with St. Ignatius 37, St. Patrick 20. Wolfpack scored 13 points in 19 seconds to take control of that one from Michael Dwojak.
Oh boy, there you go. That's pretty crazy. I mean, it's great for St. Ignatius to get that first win, especially with with moving up into Class 8A this year. It's a tough. There's no beating around the bush with that one. It's very much like that was a tough draw. Like from going from 6A last year, playing Prairie Ridge, almost making it to state, and then coming in this year, and now they have to move up 2 classes because of, if I'm not mistaken, because of the multiplier that boosted them right into 8A. And it looks like Michael is saying yes. He's definitely in the stands. He's helping us out, and he needs to carry a phone battery. Well, Michael, I got to tell you, if you're going to be giving us updates like this week to week, then I would definitely recommend multiple battery packs. That's all I got to say. So thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it.
Per Mike Clark, Kankakee goes back up 33-26 on a 14-yarder run by Stampley. 9:01 left in regulation there. That one, Sousa's having a good one. Sousa is we got an hour left here. We do need to take a commercial break. Sousa is supposed to be on for a Friday night drive after dark here, starting at 11 o'clock. He's going to be running home from that one. It's just down the street from the house. So see how quickly he can get home.
All right, we'll see you guys back here in a little bit.
Come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dine in, carry out, and catering available. Located in Rock Falls and Sterling, Illinois, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try our original Chicken George today.
I like Reich.
Since 2016, it's been my privilege to represent the people of the 63rd District. I want to continue representing you as an independent voice in Springfield.
I like Reich. We like Reich.
Need a roof, vinyl windows, or doors? Call R.E. Duchesne Construction. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and servicing Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties, call R.E. Duchesne. 815-722-2821. Financing available. Find out more online at reduchene.com.
Come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dine in, carry out, and catering available. Located in Rock Falls and Sterling, Illinois, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try our original Chicken George today.
like Reich.
I like Reich.
Since 2016, it's been my privilege to represent the people of the 63rd District. I want to continue representing you as an independent voice in Springfield.
I like Reich. We like Reich.
Need a roof, vinyl windows, or doors? Call R.E. Duchesne Construction. With an A-plus rating for the Better Business Bureau and servicing Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties, call R.E. Duchesne. 815-722-2821. Financing available. Find out more online at reduchene.com.
And welcome back to Live with Friday Night Drive. I'm Jimmy Musial alongside Kyle Nabors. We have had a ton of fun covering all of this.
I can't believe we're already been doing this for 2 hours.
I don't know where time went, honestly, and it's been, look, time flies when you're having fun. So that's just how this is going tonight. We've had a lot of games that have been wrapping up. We have had some games that are still ongoing and are pretty exciting, which includes right now Nazareth and Kankakee. We just had not too long ago Kankakee ended up taking the lead 33-26 in that one right now. And I believe we are still trying to find some updates on the Crystal Lake Central Huntley game, because at the time we did see that they were down by 1, and it was about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So we'll try to get you an update on that one as much as we possibly can. But Kyle, it's been fun.
So we got a very interesting final here in a battle of Class 1A's number 4 versus number 3. Forreston takes down Fulton in an NUIC battle 22-18. Let's see. That was that was definitely in the top 5 games that we were interested in the week. At least I should say myself. That one came back down to the wire. Good start to the year for Forreston. I don't think that's the last time we see that matchup. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rematch come postseason.
And you know what? I think when you guys were talking about it in the podcast as well, that Lena Winslow was such, obviously winning state last season, and they had a lot of people, a lot of kids that graduated, but I believe Forreston was one of the teams that was being talked about that could.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the NUIC, it's not just Lena Winslow. I mean, Lena Winslow over the last few years has been the leader of the pack. I guess I'll phrase it as, but Forreston has a rich tradition. Multiple state championships there. Fulton has really played well lately in that conference. It's certainly not just Lena Winslow.
No, absolutely not. And I think I had it wrong. You said Fulton. I had said Forreston at first. So
Forreston and Fulton.
Oh, Forreston and Fulton. Okay,
yeah, they are both in that conference.
Okay, there we go. I did see that from Josh Welge. Thank you so much, Josh. This is incredibly helpful. Really do appreciate you. Prospect ends up beating Lions 24-10. So that one just went final. And let's see, we still we got an update from JT Podolti. Streeter now up 58-21 over East Peoria. And I had another one that I was watching here, and of course my feed just decides to keep refreshing. So I'm gonna try and find it again for you guys.
I'm sorry, which one were you looking for?
I was looking for, every time that I have like a score like right in front of me, I feel like the feed just keeps refreshing, and then I lose it. But we'll go back to the chat here as there's a few other scoring updates. For Michael, we have Moline 17 and Glenbard North 12. So Moline defense held pretty strong. Fourth quarter, 2:49 left. Moline ball.
All right, Glenbard North. Every win is valuable when you're playing in the Duquesne Conference. See if Moline can hold on to that game there. I was trying to go back here. Let's see.
That feed refreshes really fast.
Did you mention? I want to make sure we please report Evergreen Park scored a late touchdown to break a tie to take a 2014 victory over Marengo. I like this. Thank you, Grant. And a little context. I worked in the Northwest Herald sports department in the 1990s with Joe Stevenson.
That's awesome.
Grant got to work with the local legend here. That's awesome, man. Thanks for the update from the Evergreen Park Marengo game.
And did you say now Michael brought up another score here? Did you say that Peoria was shut out earlier?
They scored a couple touchdowns.
Okay, 40-14 for Rochester Peoria. Okay,
yeah, it was 40-0 at one point.
Gotcha.
Washington comes back to beat Kaneland, by the way, 33-27. That final from Chris Walker.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought that was looking pretty good for Kaneland for a while.
I want to go back now. I gotta look. I want to say it was 27. Yeah, it was 27-12 Kaneland with 2:42 left in the third quarter. That's what I thought. Washington is able to come back and win that game 30-27. Let's see here. It looks like we had a 34-yard touchdown run for Washington with 55 seconds left to pull out the win there after being down 27-12 late in the third quarter.
And as I'm looking through here, still trying to find more updates for you guys, and still looking for an update on that Crystal Lake Central Huntley game because that was pretty close.
I'm confused. I know that there were games starting delayed down south because of the heat today, but I'm seeing A-Town Chad, who it's great. You can follow A-Town Chad on Twitter or X or whatever. Get yourself some Athens update, but it's saying 7-0 Athens over Pittsfield, 7:52 left in the first quarter, and I just looked up to notice 10-10 at night. So wondering if that's live or not. We got a touchdown here. Huntley back on top with a 6-yard touchdown run with 1:18 left in the game. Huntley, Crystal Lake Central coming down the wire. Fox Valley Conference, Crystal Lake Central, as we said, Joe Stevenson picking Central to win the Fox Valley Conference. Huntley, Jacobs, and Prairie Ridge shared the title at 8-1 last year. I can't emphasize this enough. The Fox Valley Conference seems just so wide open this season. Now you go Jacobs, Prairie Ridge 6-0 to start the year. You got Huntley, Crystal Lake Central coming right down the wire. It's going to be a fun year in the FVC.
I feel like there's always, obviously with the three or four teams that we talk about between Cary Grove, Prairie Ridge, Jacobs, and Huntley. I just feel like the Fox Valley just keeps throwing stuff at you every season. It doesn't, yes, like you're still gonna have your as the results have shown, you're going to have those four teams that are always competing, but there's always something else that just keeps popping up. It's a crazy conference. Just like a lot of others. So, as Kyle was saying, Huntley is up 26-21 right now, a minute 18 left in the game, and it's coming right down to the wire. So, we'll try to get more updates as they come.
I think I just figured out maybe why, there's a game starting at 10 o'clock at night. Cause now I'm looking at Monticello's, Twitter feed and see a weather delay at 4:26 left. It must be storming down south, which I apologize to my journalism brethren down there that are dealing with delayed games, but better you than me, buddies.
Yeah. I was checking. I was checking on the weather earlier today just for heat purposes. And then I did see actually there was a good amount of rain that was supposed to head further down south.
There's nothing that just scares me more each week than checking a weather forecast on a Friday night.
I can't even imagine. Not at all. It's pretty crazy. So again, a couple of games have been wrapping up here, a few more going down to the wire, and still going throughout the feeds here to
Richmond Burden has pulled away there. Marion Central just had a touchdown to get back within 13, 41-28. But it looks like Richmond Burden with 3:39 left is going to pick up another win to open the season under Mike Knoll.
Well, there you go. And we have Kyle, you might have actually mentioned this earlier, but Michael is also still trying to help us out here. 27-21 from Seneca. Seneca getting the win over Wilmington. I'm pretty sure you might have mentioned that earlier, but
I had not seen the final score. I was looking for it.
Okay.
So that is a terrific win for Seneca against Wilmington. I mean, a hard fought battle from those teams. It was close throughout. expecting big things from both of these programs this year. Seneca, it solidifies anyone who doubted what the Fighting Irish were able to do last year. A quality win against a very, very good program that Jeff Reentz and his staff runs in Wilmington. Good job there for the Fighting Irish in week 1.
And by the way, so we've got a really interesting update here from C Rob 309. Normal Community is playing against Sacred Heart Griffin. At halftime, Normal Community is up, if I'm reading that right. They're up 34-7 right now, and that's at halftime, and it looks like there was a lightning delay over there in Normal.
Man, the weather must be really bad down south. Sounding like there's a lot of people in weather delays down there. 34-7 Normal. I mean, very, very good game there for a start for Normal. Sacred Heart Griffin, defending state champion, starting the post Kent Leonard era down there. Not the start that they were hoping for, obviously.
Well, and it is so again at halftime, 34-7 Normal Community over Sacred Heart Griffin at this time. C Rob 309, thank you very much for that score update. We truly do appreciate you for it. Looks like we have another one from Jamoff. We have Triad 49-14 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter over Matton. So Mattoon. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
apologies.
He missed an O there. But yeah, I'm thinking he mean
But Jamoff, thank you so much for that score update. So Triad over Mattoon at this time with 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
I like the
14.
I like Jamoff bringing in the southern scores for us because we're based up here in the north suburbs. I will say that is when you get that far south, you start talking about schools that I don't have as many contacts with. So appreciate the score updates.
Yes, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Let's see if we can get any other updates here. Richmond Burton again, 41-28 right now. A couple minutes left in the fourth quarter.
We got a final here. Huntley holds on to win the game. Marty Machezik here tweeting Zachary Ricesavi.
Yeah.
With a pick on Jason Penza at the Crystal Lake Central 41-yard line with 48.7 seconds left. They seal that one. Huntley wins that one in a 26-21 in a Fox Valley Conference battle.
So it's pretty big. It's pretty big, especially for Crystal Lake Central because of the aspirations that they have for the season and everything, and obviously with Penza coming back at quarterback, obviously a tight game.
Yeah,
right? It's still a tight game, and there's obviously so many more weeks left of the season.
Well, to me, it reaffirms that until someone says otherwise, you're going to go with Huntley, Prairie Ridge, Jacobs, and Cary Grove remain the big four. And Crystal Lake Central is still kind of cracking their way in there. They got more cracks at it this year. They got obviously Jacobs, Cary Grove, and Prairie Ridge still on the schedule, but couldn't get it done in week 1 against Huntley.
Yep, and and you know what? Great. Again, Huntley's defense, which has been very much a focal point for them for the past few seasons. Getting things done. And especially with Rice Savvy getting the interception on Drew, on Penza, that's pretty big for them as well. So
great, Brother Rice holding on to beat Maine South in a low-scoring game, 10-7, a final score there. Hillcrest with a 14-12 win over Elk Grove. Elk Grove, not moving on. Miles Osteen now down in Kankakee. Elk Grove. With a new coach over there this year, taking a loss in week 1 to Hillcrest.
And we also have a final for Batavia against Phillips. Batavia pulling away with the 42-20 win, notching their first win of the season. Just saw that from Jake Bartleson. So Jake, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Great job over there. And Batavia off to a strong start for the season.
Ooh, just seeing Metamora and Sterling locked in a close one down in Metamora, 21-17. Metamora is up in that one.
And let's see. So, the thing that I do want to, the thing that I do want to ask, I mean, like I've been really, really impressed with the last couple, probably the past decade, and we're still going to get more scoring updates and everything as they're coming in. So I just want to point out really quick, Illinois has definitely produced a lot more 3 and 4 star recruits, I feel, in the past decade. And you look at guys like Christian Bettenker, who are having a fantastic night tonight to start off the season. Obviously, they're still playing right now, so Marion Central's still going to try to still going to try to come back. But there's been a lot of recruits in Illinois who are going to big time Power 5 schools, and it's so great for the state. It's so great for the programs. And I wanted to mention that just because of everything that I've been seeing leading up to this point. College visits in the summer and all that stuff. Really great for these kids and fantastic for all these programs.
I mean, you've definitely have seen an increase in big time recruits coming out of Illinois. It used to be, it was more of a place that colleges, Big Ten, it was kind of when you had a Big Ten recruit, it was kind of the offensive linemen that you were expecting. Those linemen, you got the big guys up front most of the time. It was your Wisconsin's coming in, Iowa sometimes. And now you're seeing the skill positions really start to blossom. And you're seeing the SEC, the ACC, spending a lot more time across Illinois, and in particular, Northern Illinois. It's really been an explosion of talent in this state.
It really has. So I wanted to make sure to mention that because I've just been so impressed with it. It's really, really, really wonderful for the state. By the way, Jamoff says, I'm from Southern Illinois, so any way that he can help. When we're doing these chats. So hey, you know what, Jamoff, you want to come in and you want to help us out on a week-to-week basis, please do so, especially for for all those the scores from the southern part of the state. Let's see. I'm also trying to see here. Somebody, Paul McAndrews says, "Hey Kyle, hope you're having fun." By the way,
yeah, I'll throw that up there.
Yeah.
Paul McAndrews, a longtime Hersher guy, know him back from our days at the Daily Journal. Paul, appreciate you checking in, man.
That's awesome. And Grant Boxleitner actually makes a really good point too. Huntley, the past 3 to 4, maybe 5 seasons or so, they have definitely always been really tough. Even on the losses that they've had, they've been incredibly tough as well. So
Huntley's in every game. I mean,
absolutely.
That has been a hallmark of this program going back. You look back to the Matt Zimlazak era. They go in and compete hard. There's been very few times that the Red Raiders haven't been in a football game. At least during my time, I arrived up here in McHenry County in 2017. I've been very impressed with the consistency of that program.
Yeah, it's definitely come a long way for sure. We have got another update here from Jamoff. Taylorville 34 and Richland County 6 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And he did say that was from Max Preps. So Taylorville 34, Richland County 6. Another update from Michael. Tuscola and St. Bede. 20-19, third quarter, 3:46 left. Although lightning has delayed the game, and that I think he's actually right. That one might be at Illinois Wesleyan.
I'm pretty sure that was.
Yeah. And then let's see. C Rob 309. Thank you very much for this update as well. Metamora 28, Sterling 17 with 9:49 left in the fourth quarter. So that one seems to be pretty tight as well going up to the end. And let's see. Got the season opening win there for Huntley. And while we're trying to look for more updates here, again, we do want to thank all of you for tuning in to Live with Friday Night Drive, and we especially want to thank our awesome sponsor, SGKR Law. Thank you so much to SGKR. Really do appreciate you. And we're just going to continue looking for more scoring updates here. Are we going to have any of the guys come in?
I just was messaging our guys. I know they're trying to hit deadlines here as well. Michael now just popping in here. So Michael Dwojak, who covered the St. Ignatius St. Patrick game for us, St. Ignatius pulling away from that game in the second half there. Michael, man, Yeah, the first thing I want to say is I saw the highlight of the vertical pass from the triple option offense. It's there, man.
Yeah, it was a really groundbreaking moment here at St. Ignatius. They threw the ball and they scored on the big touchdown. But yeah, that was a play that capped 13 points in 19 seconds, and that pretty much defined the game. They were tied 14-14. Michael Collins gets an interception for St. Ignatius. They go do that, Ignatius offense, triple option, just run down the field, get a touchdown on a 3-yard run. St. Patrick quarterback throws an interception, and then Ignatius decides to throw it and takes control of that game and makes it too big for the Shamrocks to come back. But yeah, a really impressive win for St. Ignatius. Dealt with some adversity, had some fumbles in the first half, but both the defense and the offense was able to help the Wolfpack get back into this one.
Compared to what you saw out of St. Ignatius last year coming into this season, where do you feel the team's at?
I think that this team, I don't know, I feel like this team is, still trying to figure out what it's trying to do. They replaced so many players, they replaced All-Stater Vinny Ruge from last year. Obviously, you still have Justin Scott on this team, but, like we saw today, he was double teamed, and, opponents were constantly pressuring him. Like St. Patrick, 3/4, if not, a majority of their plays went the opposite way of where Justin Scott was. And I think a lot of teams are going to do that. So, I think you're just going to see the same type of St. Ignatius, offense. They're just going to do the triple option. They're just going to run you down. They're going to tire you, like Matt Miller liked to say. We're just going to bore you, and we're just going to score a touchdown. And that's kind of what's going to be. That's kind of the identity that they built, and that's kind of what they're doing right now. They're just going to run the ball down, take it 60 yards. One guy's going to get 4 yards. Next guy's going to get 2. Next guy's going to get 5, and they're just going to score that way. And it's really hard. Like I talked to Luke Mertens after this game for St. Patrick. You can't really prepare for that. I mean, your scout team offense really, if they're not used to running it, they can't really run it well to prepare for a matchup like this. So I know we obviously see that with Prairie Ridge, but with Ignatius as well. It's just too hard to prepare for a game like this. And St. Ignatius made the most of turnovers and capitalized on them.
Happy to be back out there on a sideline, man.
Yeah, it was great. I'm glad it got a little chilly here after it was 90 degrees the last couple of days. So
really,
it felt nice
wow.
to well, I mean 70. I mean, I don't know. It just felt chilly compared to the oppressive heat we had the last couple of days. But yeah, it felt great. Obviously, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of first game jitters, but fun second half here, and it was fun to get back out here, and can't wait to go check out Marist and Glenbard West tomorrow.
All right, we'll let you go get that story up on the website at FridayNightDrive.com, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night, guys.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring in the gentleman that was covering Sycamore DeKalb. Eddie, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Oh, I'm sorry. Neil, I took control there for a second. I'm so used to doing that when I'm doing the Bears Insider podcast. Eddie, I'm going to ask you this on air because I always butcher your last name despite the fact that I try and remember it every single time. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, sir, so I don't do it myself or butcher it myself.
My name is Eddie Nabor. No, it's Eddie Carifio.
See, okay, I did have it right, but for some reason, I feel like the last time I did a podcast with you, I absolutely destroyed it and then panicked.
Probably, I don't even remember because Carifio. Everyone always says Carifio. Carifio. It's close enough. I correct, but I
get a lot of knobbers.
Really?
Yeah, I get a lot of knobbers.
See, I get a lot of musicals. So I mean, you guys are good. Everybody thinks there's a C missing from mine. So hey, but
you both have people with very famous people. I'm calling Jim Nabors here very famous for the purpose of this conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyone under the age of 40 right now is like, what? Who's Jim Nabors?
I wasn't expecting anybody to get that reference, to be honest.
I've been asked if that's a relation on more than one occasion.
So anyway,
yeah. So you're here to talk football. You had the Sycamore DeKalb game 42-7. Sycamore winning that game. I expected Sycamore to win. I did not expect to see that margin of victory. Give us a little rundown of what happened.
Yeah, at halftime, I wasn't expecting that margin of victory. I'd kind of been thinking maybe about a 2-score game going in. I'd even said in the press box that I thought 28-14 sounded about right, and 14-7 at halftime. We're halfway to that. But The Sycamore defense just absolutely took control in that second half. Cal just could not do anything offensively. I think that Sycamore defense took that late touchdown that DeKalb scored kind of personally, and that was that. After that, I haven't totaled up the yardage yet. I'm doing the prep roundup first. Don't judge me, but they couldn't have been much more than about, unless there's a big play I'm not remembering. I don't think DeKalb had more than about 50 yards in the second half.
I mean, definitely a disappointing effort there when you talk about 50 yards in the second half for the Barbs. Not what I expected out of the DeKalb offense. What went wrong?
Like I said, I don't think it was necessarily the offense going wrong. They had a hard time getting the run game started all night, and they're depending on two sophomores to basically spur this offense in quarterback Cole Latimer and Devon Grant, the receiver, and they both did good. And they didn't turn the ball over in the second half after those two really costly turnovers they had. Both Sycamore touchdowns in the first half came off of drives that started because of a DeKalb turnover. So that was, the turnover stopped in the second half, but they just couldn't get anything going. Like I said, I think it was the Sycamore defense moving up to the next level. We'll have a better judge, obviously, against as the Cal's schedule goes on when they play Plainfield South next week. It'll be a little, I think, different. But I think for Sycamore, it shows just that this defense, they might give up more than 55 points total this year, but, then again, they still could be really, really good.
Yeah, I would say the Sycamore defense over the last several seasons now has been terrific. Came in ranked number 6 in the 5A poll. You feel like this is another season where the Spartan defense is going to be right where we expect them to be at this point?
I do think so, and I think what could be an interesting side, because obviously the defense gets a lot of accolades, and rightfully so for how good they've been, but Burt Goucher threw one ball. There was a shovel pass, was his only pass. It could even be a run. From where I was sitting, it looked like it was a shovel pass. So he had one pass for 2 yards. Puts up one deep ball in the second half, 55-yard touchdown pass to T. Hallahan. So just on the money, just a beautiful pass. And they didn't even release that part of their game. He was running late. He had more than 100 yards of rushing rather. See if I can find it offhand, where he ended up at 131, it looks like, and that's without running in the fourth quarter. He had 75 yards on his first 3 runs. The quarterback out there just got so many D1 offers from Iowa and Illinois and NIU, I believe, were among his offers as a wide receiver last year, who was the quarterback. And when he was running the ball, it's like you throw behind that line, they were just giving him holes, and he would just, you blink and he's 15 yards downfield.
All right. We appreciate you jumping on.
Okay. Back to the prep roundup and maybe a DeKalb Sycamore story if I got time later.
All right. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
All right, Jimmy, you got any other scores for us that you come across?
I've actually, there were a couple of them that came through. We have a final of 41-29 for Richmond Burton against Marion Central. So that one just wrapped up not too long ago. I thought I saw there was another one. Again, the feed just keeps refreshing until it and then I just absolutely lose it. But we do have another scoring update from C-Rob 309. Princeville 30, and I don't know how to pronounce that. So I am sorry that I don't even Abingdon Avon.
I'm over here. Oh, Abingdon Avon. Yeah,
Abingdon Avon. Okay.
38. Go with a small school win there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. So we're coming down to about 2.5 hours here with live with Friday Night Drive. Jimmy Musial alongside Kyle Nabors, and finding some more scores for you here as they're coming in. We want to thank Michael and Eddie for joining us for some post game talk, and Alex Kentucky as well with Prairie Ridge Jacobs. We've had a couple of games that have wrapped up and have gone final, and I don't have any other updates right now. But
well, we got a game between Palatine and St. Charles North, one of the most highly anticipated games of the week, coming down the wire. 2:06 left in regulation. We are looking at here Ethan Plum with a 15-yard touchdown throw to give St. Charles North a 37-34 lead in that game. That update coming from Gridirons.
Okay, well there you go. Did we have an update on Warren against Barrington? I know that one was pretty close as well.
Let me see.
I don't know if I tried searching on their searching Barrington football, and that did not give me much. But
it looks like the last we see here is we got a 33-33 tie with 3:18 to go is the last update I see in that game there.
Okay. I'm also wondering how Nazareth ended up, Nazareth and Kankakee ended up as well, because I know that one was tied at 26.
I haven't seen an update on that game there.
Yeah. The last time that we had checked. But again, thank you so much to everybody, especially in the chat, who's been helping us out with those scoring updates. That's been huge. Really do appreciate that.
It's a big win for Maine West here. 14-13 win over Marmion. See Maine West tweeting here. Tommy Delaney finds Onel Miller-Smith in the flat who rumbles into the game. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this throwing up here from Neil into that, and we can pop that one on there for you. You need help looking for something?
Well, I feel like I'm just struggling with this new X. That's what's happening. No, I'm kidding. But we do have. I've got another one that somebody put in here. Actually, a couple here that are going to be coming up. But Neil, were you able to get that clip for us? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So Maine West picking up a win here in week 1 over Marmion, 14-13.
Got him.
Okay, we definitely had to play that one twice, because just to hear the passionate cheering.
Definitely got that one from the Maine West Twitter, or the Maine West Athletic Twitter account there. You can tell. Yeah. We got Sterling Newman going on the road against Rockridge. This was a tough matchup for Newman. Just took the lead late in that game with 5 seconds to play, actually 12-7. This is a big win for Newman if they hold on, assuming they will here with just 5 seconds left.
Yeah, I know Rockridge was one of those teams that you guys were talking about that is pretty formidable opponent. So that's pretty insane, especially for but hey, for Sterling Newman to it looks like they drove the field in order to win the game. So that's pretty crazy. And 12-7. I mean, that's a heck of a score. So thank you, Michael, for that update. Still trying to find some more information on Nazareth Kankakee. We'll have to just keep refreshing.
LaSalle Peru opens up the year 34-14 over United Township with a win there.
LaSalle's also they've got a new offense they're trying out this year, right? I think they've done something. I remember reading it somewhere. I think they're taking a new offense into the season. So if that is the case, if I'm right, if I heard right, that's a pretty decent win for them, especially if they're trying something new.
Evanston, a 21-7 win over Zion Benton to start the season there.
There you go.
Seeing Waubonsie Valley, Josh Newman covered that game, or Josh Welge covering that game for us. Waubonsie Valley actually 0-9 last year, so starting off the year on a high note there.
Well, yeah, especially with especially after going 0-9 last year, as you said, and it sounds like who was it? Tyler Threat. Sounds like he's going to be pretty good weapon for them. With the game that he had tonight, 28-7 victory. That's pretty nice.
I like this message from this post from View from the West. It's talking about Newman's only scores tonight in that win over Rockridge. First one came in the first minute of the game. The last one came in the final minute of the game.
Wow. Jeez, that's pretty crazy. Okay, so we officially have a final from Steve Susi and from somebody actually in the chat, CRob309. Thank you very much, both of you. Kankakee ends up taking the 33-26 win over Nazareth. So that's pretty crazy right there. Again, Nazareth with a very tough schedule coming up. And
just to recap that all together here, you go with Kankakee take the 20-6 lead into halftime there, seemed to really be controlling and limiting the Nazareth offense. Naz comes back, ends up tying that game at 26. Kankakee wins at 33-26 to get the win at home against a very, I cannot stress this enough. This Nazareth team is very, very loaded. It's a win for Miles Osei in his debut as a Kankakee coach. Quality win for the K's program that was playing for a state title 2 years ago and has the potential to be playing again on a championship weekend.
And we also have another update from for Mundelein and Grant. Looks like Mundelein took the 28-7 win, and that one just wrapped up not too long ago. But yeah, going back to Nazareth, even though they graduated a lot of talent from last year's state championship team, still have a lot that they can work with, especially with the underclassmen who had gotten a ton of experience and were incredibly talented. So yes, either way, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Nazareth going forward. But nonetheless, they still have a lot that they can work with.
No, Naz has plenty of talent. Yeah, that schedule is tough, but the Roadrunners, we saw it last year. They get in, they're going to be a danger. We got an update here. Neil, you got that one ready to go? All right, we got an update here with Barrington taking a 40-33 lead. This is from the Barrington Athletics Twitter account, getting a touchdown here with 38 seconds left to take the lead over Warren.
Touchdown Barrington, Matt Marusic.
Well, what a play right there, because it almost looked like he was pretty close at the sideline.
Yeah, so he was able to get here, looking at that one more time down on the screen here, was able to keep his feet in ground and get up the sideline. This Barrington team, they lost a lot coming out of 2021. They took their lumps last year. The Broncos, a lot coming back this year, but wasn't quite sure what to make of the offense. Wanted to see it in motion against a very good Warren defense to put up 40 points. Hell of a start for the Broncos here in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with that conference as well. I mean, it's not going to get any easier, but they have definitely, that's a big way to take the lead right there. So, and what was that score right now? 40 to 20 or 40 to 33.
40-33, yeah. So Seuss got, I'm sorry, not Seuss. Thinking about the Nazareth game though, the Nazareth Kankakee game. Yeah.
Who did Andrew play tonight? Hold on one second. Yeah. So either way, I do see from the Andrew Athletics account page here that they did end up taking a 49-6 win tonight. So Andrew got their first win of the season. I can't make out who that team is, and I haven't looked at the schedule.
Right. Let's go ahead, and we got Morris 43-3 over Coal City. Morris with a big win over a close rival there. High expectation for this Morris squad coming into the year. Steve Susi definitely among the fans of this squad.
And I've heard a lot, and I've heard a lot about Morris over the years. They just continue to make things happen. And we actually just got another update here from Brian Hoxie. Plano actually, that one is wrapped up. Yes. So Plano and Ottawa, Plano with a 33-20 win. So Plano ending, getting their first victory of the season. Thank you, Brian Hoxie, for that update on his feed. And we're just going to keep going here. And we got Kankakee right there. Again, if anybody didn't hear that, it was Kankakee 33 and Nazareth 26. Anybody else in the chat? No, I think we're
Libertyville with a 22-13 win over Lamont here. Good win for Libertyville to open the season.
Yeah, and that was and Lamont has always been really tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like I've always heard, I've just past 6 or 7 years and probably even goes past that. Like Lamont is just a very tough football program. And they will, and when we say tough, I think that's probably an understatement, with the amount of running that they do. And we're just going to keep going here.
Metamora with a 28-17 win over Sterling. Cody Cutter checking in with us to get us that final there.
Thank you very much, Cody.
Yeah, Sterling with a tough assignment in week 1, having to head out on the road there, unable to bring down Metamora. We had JT Penalty with a high-scoring affair here with Streeter 74, East Peoria 29.
And how much was left in that game? Because there was a point where he put out there that it was like 10 left in the third quarter or something, and they were at 58-21.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy, that's a very, very high scoring game. And again, as we're coming down to the wire, I guess you could say here, until Friday Night Drive After Dark. This has been a lot of fun. Like, we've been able to, the fact that we have been just giving you all these scoring updates and getting all this help from everybody. It's just been incredible. So want to thank everybody who has been tuning in, everybody who's been helping us out in the chat. Thank you, Kyle, for multitasking as you have been doing throughout this entire show so far. Thank you very much to the reporters who have been out there and giving us updates and doing some interviews with us. It's been pretty crazy.
It's this is something new that we wanted to try. It's definitely been a learning experience. We'd like to make sure to give a big shout out to Neil for producing the show for us here tonight.
Thank you, Neil. You're fantastic.
We look forward to being back with you guys next week. It's been an exciting week 1, Jimmy.
It has. It really has. And by the way, speaking of still trying to get more updates, more final scores here, Bolingbrook takes a 34-0 victory over Grayslake Central.
Yeah, Bolingbrook taking care of business here in week 1. I'm trying to find, see if we can get a update before we sign off here for the evening. Leo taking down Bishop McNamara 20-19. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised to see that final. I gotta look a little more into that, though. I'm not sure. I want to see if I can find out what happened in that one.
Well, what I'm wondering about, going back to Bolingbrook and Bolingbrook Grayslake Central, I'm kind of wondering, how good of a season Jonas Williams, the quarterback, I'm wondering how well he's going to do after the season he had last season, just as a freshman. I know when we were talking to Seuss that there were maybe some, not concerns, but just uncertainties. We're not really sure how the offensive line is going to play out for him. Throwing for 37 touchdowns last year and just under 3,000 yards. He threw for 7 touchdown passes in his first game as a starter.
They have a lot of talent around Jonas Williams, and he's a talented young player to begin with.
Absolutely.
I expect there to be a pretty considerable jump from him this season. They did lose a Marion Stewart who transferred over to Kenwood, but they still had Kyle Barry Johnson back this year. That Bolingbrook roster is not devoid of talent. The Raiders are going to be a quality team this year.
And speaking of Kyle Barry Johnson, he's actually committed to Wisconsin. So another skilled position player that is going to a very good football program in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we got a final now here with St. Charles North taking down Palatine 37-34. That is a incredible win for St. Charles North in a tight battle here. High expectation for this Palatine squad coming into the season. just shows you how talented the Duquesne Conference is going to be this season once again.
Well, it's if anything, look more forward to that matchup between them and Batavia, right? I mean, it's always crazy.
Every game the Duquesne Conference, it on a week-to-week basis, it just never stops.
Absolutely. And we've got another scoring update here. We do have a final between Lake Park and Conant. Lake Park with the 28-7 victory over Conant, so that one just wrapped up as well. And so Lake Park getting their first win of the 2023 season. And let's see. Yeah, pretty good win there. And let's see. And now it looks like I just got this from Barrington Quiz Bowl. Mike Clark reposted it. Barrington wins a thrilling opening game, knocking off 5th-ranked Warren 40-33.
There you go. I mean, a terrific win for Joey Sanchez and that team. Congrats to the Broncos for a big win in week 1.
And it looks like Will Naza had the interception to get the victory for Barrington.
All right, sealing it there. Warrington trying to move the ball downfield. All right,
getting it done on defense. So before we go ahead and wrap up our part of the show, we are going to take just a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back I'm Jimmy Musial and Kyle Nabors. We'll be right back with Live with Friday Night Drive.
Come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dine in, carry out, and catering available. Located in Rock Falls and Sterling, Illinois, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try our original Chicken George today.
I like Reich. Since 2016, it's been my privilege to represent the people of the 63rd District. I want to continue representing you as an independent voice in Springfield.
I like Reich. We like Reich.
Need a roof, vinyl windows, or doors? Call R.E. Duchesne Construction. With an A-plus rating for the Better Business Bureau and servicing Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties, call R.E. Duchesne. 815-722-2821. Financing available. Find out more online at reduchene.com.
Come to Candlelight Inn, home of the original Chicken George and Jan Sauce. Dine in, carry out, and catering available. Located in Rock Falls and Sterling, Illinois, as well as Clinton, Iowa. Come try our original Chicken George today.
I like Reich. Since 2016, it's been my privilege to represent the people of the 63rd District. I want to continue representing you as an independent voice in Springfield.
I like Reich. We like Reich.
Need a roof, vinyl windows, or doors? Call R.E. Duchesne Construction. With an A-plus rating for the Better Business Bureau and servicing Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties, call R.E. Duchesne. 815-722-2821. Financing available. Find out more online at reduchene.com.
And we are back with Live with Friday Night Drive. I'm Jimmy Musial alongside Kyle Nabors. And Kyle, this was a great week. This is a great week just to start things off. There were a lot of crazy games, a lot of low scoring games, a lot of excitement overall. So before we wrap up here, what are your thoughts on how the first week went?
Overall, you're going to have to obviously dig into the numbers a little bit more as we sign off here and start looking through some of these box scores a little bit closer as they start to come into our desk. But a bit sloppy, not surprising for week 1. Big win for Newman. Newman started out there with a win at Rock Ridge. Very impressive to go on the road like that for that program. Outside of that, Barrington, we just saw a big win over Warren at home. That Prairie Ridge shutout, that defense pitching a shutout against Jacobs, very impressive there. Frankly, it's just nice to have football back at the end of the day, man. It's It was very cold leaving that weekend or that Saturday night in Champaign, and you look forward to get football back, and it's finally here. We got 8 more weeks of the regular season. Looking forward to it.
And you also get 8 more weeks of us on Friday nights here with Friday Night Drive. Again, just want to thank everybody who has been tuning in, especially the people in the chat that have been giving us scoring updates and have just been engaging with us either way. We really do appreciate you. I want to thank all the reporters that were covering games tonight and took some time to be with us during interviews. And of course, we can't forget about Candlelight Inn, as well as another awesome sponsor in SGKR Law. So for Kyle Nabors, I'm Jimmy Musial. We will see you next week here on Live with Friday Night Drive.